What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, March 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a frustrating day last night. Picked up $500 at the poker table, $475 at the poker table, but Dallas Stars cost me a winning night, and I owe Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast, a song. And I'm about 4 days into insomnia. So I don't know what's going to happen here on the show right now. I'm kind of shaky and floating. Shout out to all the cappers joining us today. God, I had so much action yesterday, and it started out so well. Overs and overs and overs cashing. My under in Ottawa, St. Louis cashing. And then Dallas Stars and over 5.5. Get me right in the old prison pocket. Oh, man, right in the old chocolate starfish. It was 1-0 Dallas. I was like, okay, whatever. Let's just cash the plus 115. But no. Take it right in the old bottom mouth. Shout out to everybody joining us. Jason M. in the house says, what up, Jimbo? It's 3 a.m. here, but your show is always worth the wait. Wow. Thank you for rolling with us, fighting the good fight, 3 a.m. Man. Respect, Jason. There's Sammy Culmer. Sammy's got action right now. Champions League, Real Madrid to qualify at plus 220. There's Viper NB ready to get to work. Unc Oliver, Mr. Vape says just hit a plus 1,500 moneyline basketball with the Beijing Royal Fighters after the first quarter. He also had a plus 21.5. So why? Yeah, go for this giant score. We're talking about the Royal Fighters here. Great job, Mr. Vape. Respect. Jose Contreras ready to go. Dan Kelly says, got on Detroit plus 6 as soon as it came out. No data, just feel. I usually look to middle these with a live bet. Dan Kelly in the house. There's T, Nasty Nate, Kyle Hintley, and Sammy Culmer. I will be touching down in San Antonio in 13 days. The huge Pub-Up-Palooza trip goes off in 15 days. Things are going to go well. There's Dav Fenn. Yes, the first game I'm not moving on. But Conor Mac's going to join us very soon. And the first game we're talking about with CMAC is Syracuse, Florida State, which is on at 12 p.m. The Idaho game, I know that Idaho State, the Bengals, we've been keeping a close eye on. Idaho, I did not pull the trigger. North Ender 5-0 yesterday, and the Garland double-double. Great job. I love it. Kyle Hintley picking up $7K yesterday. Great work. There's my guy Nate Dogg 420. CT Bays cashing with Clemson. And NCAA parlay, spreadsheet parlay already in business here from Ron Crawford. Going to copy and paste that. Sharpening up my poker last night, so I'm ready to attack our poker game on Saturday night in San Antonio. None of us, I guess. Well, I guess some of you in the States have, but up in Canada, we haven't been playing much live poker because of our ridiculous government and all the restrictions that we've been living under for the last 2 years. All right, there's Diesel ready to get to work. Mike M. Prince of the City. Billy Friedrich. Serious Business. Marshall Hoffman. And there he is. Diesel said, how about my parlay Clemson and the Grizz? Diesel fuel parlay cashes. It sure did. There's Dabby Cabs ready to go. Great job, Diesel. Beautiful, beautiful work. We already got looks from, or is that Kyle? Is that from yesterday? Yeah, it must be. Louisville first half UNC. I'm guessing. I don't know. Let me know. With my lack of sleep, I'm not. I'm all over the map. All over the map. Dan Kelly says the best way to get rid of insomnia is start running. I think that would be very helpful in my life. Very, very helpful if I could do some sort of exercise. There's Nuke Worker says, good morning, guys, from Florida. Deacon says that the 80s called. They want their hat back. All right. Okay. Sure. There's Josh, DC Sportsbooks, Nutflush Allen. By the way, Nutflush Allen cashed on the Predators at plus 1,300 to win in regulation late, down 1-0. Monster. Thank you, CT Bays. CT Bays likes it. There's Guillermo Zertucci ready to go. Nate Dogg says my song will reach the Billboard. I think my song will be terrible. Diesel says, Dan Kelly, thank you for the Clippers underplay. What a look. Wow. Yeah. Because I almost live bet the over when I was playing poker last night, just because, got off to that 21-21 first quarter. But what a garbage game they were playing. They were playing so poorly in both squads. I was like, you know what? Let's just not live bet it. I'm not watching it close enough. Sac State from Nasty Nate and from DC Sportsbooks against Idaho. That game pops off. And then look at Diesel on Sac State money line. St. Joe's first half from CT Bays. So one thing we're going to do, and I think it's going to help us over the next few weeks, when we have our show here, we're going to be focusing on the early games because NCAA net profits will come on at 5 p.m. and they'll hammer all the late games. So we'll have every game covered here at Pub Sports Radio. That is the plan. That is the plan. All right, there's Dutch boy, freshman running hot. Dutch, great call on Brooklyn. Kyrie dropping a 50 burger. Wine Time is on Syracuse in that spot. Looking forward to talk about it. Cab says, Dabby says, I'm not going to lie, took Florida State money line first half, but lots of people I talk with are on Syracuse money line. We'll talk about all of those spots. Yeah, North Ender overs all over the place. God, I really thought I was going to have a night last night. And look, Rich Abraham says, shout out to Babano. Last week, cashed my biggest odds parlay to date because of him, plus 22.74. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job all around. There's Rez Mob ready to get to work. Jay Peasy. Slatsy 45 says back from Vegas, which is awesome and profitable. So great to have no restrictions. Yeah, man. God, I just... awful. I just so tired of this shit that we've been doing. So I can't wait to go down to Texas where there are no rules. We can do whatever we please except gamble. It's strange that we would pick a city where we can't really, legally gamble, where you can't, go to a casino and play Texas Hold'em in the state that invented it. But we will skirt those rules and gamble nonstop every second we're there. There's Dutch ready to get to work. Dennis Garcia. Okay, we got to get to work. Twate. Oh, there's Raven in the Desert back in action. Twate Latte. Thank you so much. Much love to you, Twate. We're hoping baseball's back. We're hoping that we find out any minute that baseball's back. And can't wait to watch you work this year in MLB. Michael Ervelina coming off a huge day says Ducks are dead to him. I stayed off the Ducks and only had the over. So that was all us talking it out, because my plan was to bet the Ducks until we broke down that game altogether. And, okay, so there is the NCAA parlay. Sacramento State, Kansas State pops off here very soon. Marshall Hoffman, Wine Time saying Dutch is on fire, guys. He absolutely is. RW says Florida State never plays well in early games. All right, let's get right to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Nasty Day looking at Rhode Island. All right, let's do a quick review of yesterday's action. Penguins was awful. Both bets that the market went against me. I was fearless in the face of that and lost them both. Penguins lost. Red Wings -1 lost. Ottawa St. Louis under 6 cashed, and then the Dallas Nashville and Dallas Star, the over 5.5 and the Stars money line lost. Wild -1 cash. Tampa Bay, Winnipeg over 6 cashed. Anaheim, Chicago over 6 cashed. And then Lightning -1 lost. Upsetting. In NBA, Magic plus 6.5 cashed. Pelicans plus 6.5 lost. Pelicans, Memphis over 230 cashed. And Thunder plus 13.5 lost. Then Rider, Bronx. Rider -4 cashed. Chicago State first half cashed. Canisius money line at plus 130 lost. Marist -2.5 lost. And then Delaware first half, they win outright, but I have them first half. Frustrating day. Should be up money, yet I am not after last night. Dan Kelly says Jesse Edwards out for the Qs, changed the season for them. I saw Boeheim's last post-game conference, and he sounded like a guy who's already playing golf in Mexico. All right. And there's predictions guy in the house. And there's Razor Sharp Pick says we missed the pick 5 yesterday, but we did hit the $300 top play. And he says today's top play will be ready in 10 minutes. All right. Let's get to work right now. And we start in the National Hockey League. And we bring in our first guest of today's program. He will be making a live appearance in my apartment. He will be hanging out with Ella Carter. He will meet my girlfriend, who's stuck with me through horrifying highs and lows. and she stuck with me. And I guess that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. Let's see if Gogster sticks with me for the rest of the show and for the rest of the season and throughout our trip in San Antonio. Please welcome Pride of Belleville, Ontario, one dirty-ass city. Is it a city or is it a village? He can answer that question. Mr. Gogster in the house. Gogster, how are you?
What's going on, guys? How are we doing? Yeah, I'd call this thing a terrible town, just a grunge spot, like a terrible town. Kind of like, back in the 90s where shit was just kind of living in the ancient times here, guys. It's tough times, but it's not tough times being here on the on the show here with you, Jimmy, everyone in the chat. These are good times. I can't wait. Even though there might be pigeon semen on the balcony, I still look forward to seeing you and the family and everybody else, despite the situation.
Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it's not just pigeon semen. If it was only pigeon semen, I think it might be much better than the state of affairs. As you know, pigeons, it's not just semen with them, sadly.
No.
So let's first ask you.
You can't tell the difference either, Jimmy, right?
Well, the pigeon glows in the dark, so it's much scarier. So let's ask you first, Mr. Gogster. Dutch Boy Fresh says Broncos, we winning. Let's get your first hot take on the new quarterback for your football team.
Well, right away, I got to get this out. It's kind of like what he did to us in the Super Bowl in the Seattle Seahawks. I will never forget this guy. 43-8. We had a safety on our first play. We got a second half touchdown scored against us to start off the second half. This was an absolute debacle. So I've hated the Seattle Seahawks for a long time. Now we have Russell Wilson. I don't know if you guys saw this Twitter video, but he put out a weird tweet with the video where it looked like he had too many edibles or something because Russ was getting all goofy and saying he's Mr. Unlimited and shit. So it's going to be different. He's got a great pedigree in what he's done. So Denver, last time we had someone like this was Peyton Manning, and look what we did. So our odds are shit now to win the Super Bowl. But yeah, Dutchie, I think it's going to be nice. Just I'm a little sour still from that Super Bowl debacle.
That Super Bowl will always be a big memory for me because, as some of you guys know, my uncle won the Heisman Trophy, Gary Beeben, the year before O.J. Simpson. And he was with us. And the night before that game, I did, you mentioned edibles, I put out a plate of edibles. And it was nighttime. And I said, I cut them all in half.
Safe.
And then I said, look at my brother Eli. I said, look at Eli. Eli had a full cookie, and he was in a rocking chair, sleeping with his mouth open.
Oh.
I said, there's an example. And then we went outside and smoked a bat. And when I came back, there should have been about 6 or 7 cookies, so like 12 halves, and there was only like 4 or 5. And I was like, and look, I'm not going to tell a Heisman Trophy winner like, oh, did you eat all the cookie? I mean, do whatever you want. So we played our first hand of cards, and then he went to the bathroom where he stayed for the next 18 hours going, nice. And I remember he even put up a half cookie and said, is this going to ruin the Super Bowl? And I was like, no, man. When has Edible ever ruined the Super Bowl? Yes, it did ruin the Super Bowl.
They just creep up on you. You don't know what's too many when you're eating edibles, guys, especially you get a nice little, a little flavor in there. So, shout out to that story. He's probably tripping for 18 hours. That's yikes.
It was tough. He was the first great small quarterback in American history. This is what is the story we tell. And Michael Overland says, we need your uncle back on the show. That was a great day. Let him talk and cap with us. Yeah, he's a great capper. He's a great capper. I remember
that. Yeah, great guy too.
And Deacon says, so all the athletic talent went to other family members. Well, I mean, I was above average, quite a bit above average, but above average doesn't do much for you in the world of sports.
No.
There is Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast right now, and he's ready for it. I've got to put together a fucking song. What kind of fucking bet is this, man? Yeah, what happened to betting currency? Why didn't you just say, let's put a couple $100 on this game? Much rather just send you some cash and put together some.
I just want to say something right now, Jimmy. I apologize. You were right. What I saw from Nettle there last night against Arizona just pretty much puts the cherry on the cake, the icing on the cake. Ned is just a sieve. He's having it all. I just can't back this guy. He's awful. I see now why Carolina got rid of him. I kind of eat my words there. I just want to let you guys know. Yeah, Ned, nine goals. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, what in the Christ is going on in Detroit? I know you're young and dumb, but yeah, that's just speechless.
Yes, I did, Dennis, and yes, I will. There will be a song. It will be out before midnight tonight.
Any hints to what that song might be, Jimmy? Or
it's going to be an original. It's going to be an original. Yeah.
Hip hop?
No, fuck. No, I might do a vocal warm up though. That will include some hip hop. But yes, okay. So let's get back to work here. And I did see. I'm not. Okay. Well, let's just focus here on. Oh, sorry. It wasn't me that was right. It was Rod Brindamore, and I just believed in Rod Brindamore more than I believe in any hockey player playing right now. I believe in Rod Brindamore. Okay, let's get to work right now. Viper says the video will be worth more than any. Oh, God, awful. Okay, let's get to work. We have 2 NHL games, and then Conor Mac will be joining us in 11 minutes. Big shout out to Kyle Hintley, and thank you for the dono, my friend. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for thinking about us and supporting us. And it's Dennis Garcia says Wilson at this stage of his career is better than Manning was when he went to Denver. That is absolutely true. And it's funny that you don't seem excited about this spot because you're going back to some Super Bowl years ago.
I'm excited. It's just, I want to see it a little bit still. I know he's been proven he needs to get out of somewhere where he was just kind of looked like it was stale in Seattle with him and Carroll. So yeah, we got a new coordinator. He seems to be an offensive guy coming from Green Bay. Our running backs are absolute beasts, so our offense is going to be a lot better. We're going to be able to play actions. We don't have Fan anymore. That would have been a nice addition, but with Judy and Sutton on the outside, look for those 2 guys to actually start looking a lot better because they just had no one. Teddy and Locke wouldn't be able to throw downfield if it was accuracy or just an arm for Teddy's sake. So yeah, it's going to be a great addition. It's just, buddy, that Super Bowl just cut me deep, real deep.
I enjoyed that Super Bowl very much, and I like watching the Broncos struggle. So there's
2 years later, though. 2 years later, what happened?
Look, I don't remember. I haven't slept in 4 days. Let's get to work. 8 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Gogster. The Washington Capitals, 30-18-9, 16-7-4 on the road at the Edmonton Oilers, 30-23-4, 14-12-0 at home at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. Ilya Samsonov between the pipes, and I don't trust him, Mr. Gogster. Talk about goalies I don't trust.
I agree.
I know that Koskinen has almost an identical stat line, but Koskinen's been playing better. And I believe that Koskinen can take this starting job and get some confidence here down the stretch. Washington power play at 17.6%. It looked like they turned the corner. We will see. Anthony Mantha's back. That will help that power play. 81% penalty killing. Edmonton power play at 25%. Gone are the heady days when they were over 30%. This power play is clicking at 16.9% over the past 28 games. Was at 31.9% over their first 29 games. Capitals are on the second half of a back-to-back. They feel pretty good about themselves, and I'm fading them here. I almost took the first period -0.5. I came so close. I stared at it for a long time. But I just figured the -125 was probably enough to keep the push involved. Yeah. And I'm on the Oilers on the -1 line. These are the only bets that I've made so far. Diesel says Capitals money line lean, but one unit play on the under 6.5. Ovechkin scored twice in the 5-4 win. He now has 766 goals, tying Jaromir Jagr. 4 goals in his past 3 games, 36 goals this year. They're 19-3-5 when he scores a goal. And Mantha scored his first goal since he's returned in his 3rd game back. And that was the game winner last night. Oh, it broke the tie.
No, I think Ovi. I want to say Ovi. He almost had a empty netter goal, but I believe he did have the 5th goal, Jamie.
The Capitals went 0 for 3 on the power play Tuesday. They've killed off 17 straight power plays, which is impressive. The Oilers were last seen losing their third straight 3-1 at Calgary on Monday. They've scored 3 or fewer goals 7 of their past 8 games. They're just 2-5-1 over that span. Evan Bouchard missed the Calgary game. He's going to be back on the ice. Tyson Barrie is day-to-day. We don't know if he will be able to. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's on the IR with the upper body injury. He's week to week. Jesse Puljujarvi and Zach Kassian are still out, and that's important size that this team needs. But I think this is a good spot for them to come out fired up. The Capitals get their road trip off to a winning start, and I am backing these Edmonton Oilers pretty decent, pretty big. I'm putting pretty big into that. So take it away here, Gogster, your opportunity to have the floor, Capitals Oilers.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. I'm gonna kind of not head to head. I'm not gonna play Washington, but I might make a case for them here. Since the addition of Mantha, this team, they've been scoring, guys. 4 goals against Carolina, 5 against Seattle, 5 against Calgary, even 3 against Toronto the game before that. They were playing really bad hockey leading up to this time. So they're a team that's playing good hockey. So it's tough for me to fade a team that's playing well. They are coming off the back-to-back, but they were, I don't want to say not lazy out there by any means. I was watching that game while I was at work, but they really turned it on that third period. The third period is really when they turned it on. The first 2 periods, especially the first, they were down 1-0. I had them in the first period. Didn't do much in the first. So I'm not going to play Washington. I don't know about Edmonton. I have a stat here, guys, from one of the beat writers. 2 of the best players in the world on the same team, but people tend to forget what Ryan Nugent-Hopkins means. The Oilers are 2-7-2 in their last 11 games without him. So without Nuge,
I think it's not having Kassian and Puljujarvi. Look, I know that Nuge helps a lot because his team has no depth, but you lose these the 2 biggest guys. I mean, Draisaitl has size, but you lose these 2 big guys.
They throw their body around a little more too. Yeah,
it really makes them easy to push around.
Yeah, and then if Bouchard's back, that'll definitely help, especially on the offensive side. He's a pretty offensive defenseman there, Evan Bouchard. But yeah, no Nugent, no Barrie, Puljujarvi, even Russell, Kassian. Once they get some of these key guys back, Edmonton will be better. But right now, they're up and down. And the one thing too with Koskinen, home and road splits are like night and day. This guy's one of the best road goalies in the NHL. But look at him at home, guys. He's 7-6 with a .887 save percentage and a 3.54 goals against. Now he has been playing a lot better since February and on. He's 4-1-1 with a .915 save percentage, 2.66 goals against. But it's tough for me to fade a team that's playing well. Samsonov, Vanecek's definitely their number 1. This is their number 2 goalie. So I kind of lean towards the over, but it's the line's too high in my opinion there. Looking at lines, I would be on Washington if I had to make a play. Maybe first period Washington, despite everything. I'm not going to play this, Jimmy, but looking at their goals, first period, second, third, Washington's got 28 goals in the first period compared to 16 against in the first period on the road. So they're a very strong first period road team. It's going to be a back-to-back, but this team's pretty – they're 100% healthy next to Hagelin and then Snively, who's pretty much an AHLer. So they got their full team back. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game because the Oilers have lost. What do I have here? 3 straight here against Calgary, Montreal, and Chicago. So they're going to be a hungry team too, but they're just, I don't know. It's a tough game, guys. It's a tough game. I got a little more action on the next one, but I would have to lean towards Washington if I had to make a play, Jim.
I just think this is a perfect situation for the Oilers. Perfect situation for them. Look, I'm not saying they're a better hockey team than Washington, but the Capitals win 5-4 last night. Calgary, 3rd straight win, feeling good about themselves. Travel north to Edmonton, and this Oilers team needs a win badly. Has Koskinen in the net. I'm not
talking you off that. I'm not trying to talk you off.
Oh, no, yeah. I feel you. I'm just like, I've been asked why do I like the Oilers. I just personally, I think the situation benefits them, and the right. I can understand, you're saying revenge spot for the Caps. That does not. I do not feel like this is a revenge spot. The Capitals have been bad at home all season long, and this is not a divisional rivalry. Sammy says Mike Culmer is expected.
Mike Smith's expected.
Sorry, Sammy says Mike Smith is expected. Sorry, that's going to happen a lot on these shows right now until I can get through this insomnia. But he's sick, and I will be angry if Mike Smith is in that. I'll be really upset. I need Koskinen. Whole bet is about Koskinen, so I'm hoping that. Okay, well, there we go. That's my action. I know we have college basketball coming up here very soon, so let's move on to the game that you are all over, and I am not all over. This game really makes me uncomfortable. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. The two hottest Canadian teams facing each other. Montreal Canadiens 15-34-7, 7-17-6 on the road. At the Canucks 28-23-6, 12-10-3 home at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, BC. Sammy Montembeault against old Maggie Thatcher in that. And big. Let's just give a wave over to Maggie Thatcher, ready to make some big saves here. And excited. We are excited to see. I guess we don't need the 50 Shades of Nylander anymore. I guess we can probably drop that. Although, man, he had a giveaway last night that was awful. Maybe we can lose that. I'll tell you what, we're never going to lose, though. We're never going to lose her. She's going to stay with us through thick and thin, through everything. She's going to stick by us through everything. But let's go back to Mags. Very good goaltender and playing very well right now. Vancouver power play at 20.9%, penalty killing at 70.2%. That's actually up from the 67. And then Montreal power play at 13.5%, penalty killing at 74.1%. Montreal's won 2 straight, 7 of 8. They're coming in off a 5-2 win at Edmonton on Saturday night. Nick Suzuki is looking very good, as is Cole Caulfield. Nick Suzuki scored the winner, added 2 assists. Cole Caulfield 14 points his last 11 games. 4 multi-point games since St. Louis took over. Martin St. Louis, they're 7-4 under him. And he's just, lit a fire under Caulfield. Caulfield had 8 points in 30 games before that. Canucks have won 2 straight and 5 of 6. They're coming off an impressive 6-4 win at Toronto on Saturday night. And I find this game very difficult. I can't wait to hear your take. Take it away.
Yeah, this is a tough one, guys. The more I dug into it, I made this play early. I wanted to try to get the best of the number. Sorry, I've got the hairs going all over the place trying to tame that bitch. Yeah, this game's it's a tough one. There's some question marks here. Petrie, he did play last game, but he is questionable from what I saw. Evans as well. We're going to definitely want those 2 pieces in there for Montreal, in my opinion. But Cole Caulfield here, he's back. The playoff guy that you guys saw last year, he's back with Suzuki and Anderson. That's one of the best lines, I'm going to say, in hockey of late. These guys have been absolutely firing. Hoffman, Dauphin, and Gallagher's been a great line. St. Louis got him humming. Now, I'm going to be leaning towards some unders here, guys. One of the reasons being is Montreal's been their 5-on-5 play has been absolutely stellar since the All-Star break. They're 25th. They've allowed, what do I have here? 10th best goals against 5-on-5, 25 that is, in the NHL. And then they've allowed 7 since February 1st, 5th best in the NHL. So they've been locking down 5-on-5, playing really good hockey despite having Hammond and Montembeault. I really need to have Hammond going tonight, despite Montembeault having a better start, 5-2 against Edmonton a couple nights ago. I still do want Hammond here. He's 3-0 on the road with a .920 save percentage and a 2.40 goals against. So Hammond's been a solid goalie on the road. You might say, how long can this last? But he's been proving himself. They do have Seattle on Saturday, so they're not playing for I guess they get one night off, but they're playing Seattle, so I don't think they're definitely looking ahead in this game. They don't want to get in a goal fest. This Vancouver team is pretty much healthy too offensively, so it's Vancouver's playing good hockey. That's the one hiccup would be the fact that Vancouver is playing a lot better. But after those high-powered games from Montreal, winning 5-4 against Calgary, 5-2 against Edmonton, I don't see them running up the score here again. Demko's been a really solid goalie too. 8-2 since February 1st, not .914 save percentage. You saw what he did against Toronto. At home, he's a solid goalie as well. .932 save percentage, despite being 11-7. So I'm going to be leaning towards unders here. I'm taking the first period under, Jimmy. A lot of plus money I got this at. So if I just hit a couple of these, it's already going to be a good night. I got Vancouver team total under. First period, 0.5. So them not to score a goal, guys, in the first period, plus 189. That was at Pinnacle, Jimmy. I'm expecting Montreal to lock down here. Defensively, I don't see any problems as long as Petrie's going. There's some question marks in this game the more we dove into it, but the plus money is what I'm really going to try and take advantage of here. Expect Vancouver not to come out crazy. Not to mention, guys, 12 goals. That's another big thing, Jimmy. 12 goals in the first period from Vancouver. That's all they've scored at home the whole year. 12 goals. That's the lowest output by any team. 33 in the second, 22 in the third. So they're a really slow first period team. I've done this in the past on a couple other shows. So I'm going to be so we're going to start off Vancouver first period under 0.5 plus 189. First period under, guys, 1.5. That's at plus 124. Also taking the full game over. I was going to do the 6.5, but I'm taking the plus money, Jim, at under 6 plus 107. And then taking Vancouver team total under 3.5 minus 102. So we got 4 plays on this one, guys. It's I'm not saying hold your breath by any means. I think we got a good shot with, especially if we hit that Vancouver first period. There's plus 189 in our pocket. So 4 plays here. Vancouver could still win this game, 3-1, 2-1, overtime. I expect it to be a lower scoring game, physical game here, despite Vancouver looking really good. This is also their first game back from a longer road trip. So you always like taking unders in that situation as well, Jim.
And it's moved to 6.5 at Sugar House, Bet Rivers. And
I see why. I can see why based on the 33% power play from Vancouver of late. They've looked good. But what Montreal's doing, I'm going to trust it. They could lose this game. Vancouver has looked really good. But Vancouver too, they coming off a 4-3 loss against the Islanders, 6-4 win against Toronto. I'm rocking with this, guys. Montreal, they're just defensively play a lot better compared to those 2 games against Edmonton and Calgary. Jimmy, I don't see them. It's not like they lost 2-1 or they're playing, down. They're playing almost, I want to say, better than expected, you could say, but I don't want to hum and haw too much, Jim, but I expect this to be a tighter game, low score.
First period's going to be one hell of a sweat. I can feel it right now. Jeez, that's going to be one hell of a sweat. 10 o'clock at night, you're going to have a bottle in your hand and just walking back and forth. I live bet, put a big bet. I was angry on the Avalanche Flames game when they made it 1-1 on Saturday night. It was 1-1 like 3 minutes in, and I put a big bet on the under 7.5, and it went 2-2 immediately. Then it went 3-3, and I was just like, I'm so angry. And then they didn't score for the next second half of the game, and I cashed it. But I know the sweat that you're going to have. I prefer
betting unders too. It's weird because I want to see good hockey. I don't want to see just back and forth, just goals galore. Goalies getting beat left, right, and center, made of Swiss cheese. It's fun betting unders. I prefer betting unders, to be honest.
Well, there you have it. So we have 4 bets from Mr. Gogster in the Montreal-Vancouver game. First period under 1.5 plus 124. Full game under 6 plus 107. First period team total under 0.5 for the Canucks at plus 189. And team total under 3.5 at minus 102. And I was raised to despise the Montreal Canadiens because when they would come to Pacific Coliseum, there'd be more Canadian fans than Canuck fans. And, we
I get it.
A verbal argument. So this game does bring me back to my youth and my dad teaching me to despise Le Habitant. I have moved on the Oilers. I think it's a great situational spot for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm on the Oilers. I'm staying off this Habs Canucks spot. I certainly don't want the Canucks as this big of a favorite. Mm-hmm. And I can completely understand what Clint's thought process is here because I love fading teams that come off a very good road trip. But do I really believe that the Habs that this magic that they're conjuring under St. Louis is real? And I don't. So I don't. Billy Friedrich says, was that French? No, oh, yes. Okay. Mr. Gogster, thank you so much. We have a huge slate tomorrow. Huge slate. We got to be brisk. We got to be firing out. We got to be fast tomorrow. So,
right? 13 games, right?
Yeah, a huge amount. We got to be fast. We got to be really fast tomorrow, breaking them down. Let us know if you have any leans or anything for tomorrow, but much love, my friend. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. We move on to college basketball. Mr. Gogster, thanks you for your hard work. Follow our man on Twitter, Belleville's finest, Mr. Gogster in the house. Okay, we move on to college basketball here, and I know that the first game is off with Ron Crawford's play of the day, NCAA basketball parlay, Sacramento State, Kansas State. But we have action right now starting in 23 minutes. So we're just waiting for our guy C-Mac to jump back into the waiting area we have here. He jumped in earlier. I know he's lurking about. Here. Yeah, no, we've seen. Connor says he says he's backstage, even though we don't see him here. So we know he's close. I don't know if he's in the right backstage area or what, but I imagine that he will be here shortly. So let's get everything prepared for CMAC here, because we have the ACC Tournament second round, and then we're going to go right into the Mountain West Championship. So let me make sure that I've got everything up here in preparation for this. Here we go. And Dan Kelly says, I'm getting plus 108 on that 223.5. I missed the look you had there. And here he is. Here he is. Migda Mac Daddy. I'm sorry that I've got you up so early this morning, but our guy Noli Knows was planning on coming back from Vegas last night, but then he ran in and hung out with Ski Profit and decided, you know what? Let's tie one on here in sweet Vegas. So he was there, and he was up $800 at that point, betting unders. So we love Noli. He'll be back next tomorrow. But thank you for waking up so early here to roll with us. And we have a game popping off in 20 minutes. So are you ready to get ready to right away just attack this board?
Yeah, let's rock it. Rock it.
All right, let's go right now. Idaho is up 8-5, by the way, on Sac State. Oh, and we had a pick 5 being given out. A pick 5 from our Razor Sharp Picks. So he had hit 2 in a row and then missed 1 yesterday. But he's the first person to hit 2 in a row here. Sorry, Jose. First person to hit 2 in a row ever on the show with pick 5. So he's got a Gulfstream pick 5 starting race 1 here, which will pop off probably in about 30 minutes or so. So shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, and thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Did you want to jump in there, C-Mac?
No, I just want to say tail my guy. Go tail Razor's pick 5. If you want to like money, tail this guy's pick 5. I guarantee you he will win you a lot more than you lose. So I love it.
Yeah, he picked up 2K on Saturday with us.
And bounced.
And then it fucking disappeared, which you're allowed to do. You're allowed to do. Whenever I win $2,000, I just stop hosting. I just allow Razor to take over, and I just sit back and drink.
Yeah.
It's similar to bouncing. Okay, let's get to work. We start. Let me get the Action Network up here because we don't trust the site that we used to use. Okay, let's get to work here. We start in 20 minutes. ACC Tournament second round. Syracuse Orange 15-16, 9-11 in conference versus Florida State Seminoles 17-13, 10-10 in conference. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Syracuse opened up as a 1-point favorite and is now a 2.5-point dog. We all know what Boeheim does this time of year, and you'd think with 2 sons on his team that he would be really, really trying to get them to step up. But Dan Kelly, who knows this team very well, says it sounds like he's already checked out. This total opened up at 147 and has dropped all the way to 144.5. Because there's going to be so much money on these games here in the morning, why don't we take a look at what we are dealing with here from a cash flow standpoint? 15,000 tickets have already been calculated, and it's 46% of the tickets on Florida State and 54% of the cash. So, and then on the total, you have 49% of tickets on the under and 73% of the cash. So clearly looks like the sharp action is on the under. Syracuse comes in losers of 4 straight. The last 2 were tough and tight. They lose at North Carolina in overtime, 88-79. They lose at home to Miami in the final game of the regular season, 75-72. And Florida State on the other side there, they've won 3 straight coming into this. They're feeling good about themselves. They win at Virginia 64-63 in a big upset. They beat Notre Dame at home 74-70. And then they beat NC State by 13, 89-76. Winners of 3 straight. Take it away here, C-Mac. The first game on the board, Syracuse, or for us, because we know the Idaho game's on. Syracuse, Florida State.
This game's super interesting because you do a great job always breaking these down. I got to give you credit, Jimmy, where credit's due.
Thank
these
you,
games. You do, yeah. So it's Boeheim, like you talked about. They've lost 4 in a row, but it seems like every time they get in this situation, they can win 3 or 4 games. Like you said, Dan Kelly mentioned they're checked out. That's all I hear too. I mean, do they want, and basically they lose this, they're guaranteed a losing season. His first one ever, which is crazy to think in all the years Boeheim's been there. What, over 40 years, right? 45 years, something like that. He's been there. He's never had a losing season. So that's a little something to play for. I mean, if they could win the next few games, they at least finish over 500. But you talk about how bad, and it's been on the defensive side, these 4 straight losses. They're giving up over 80 a game. When that zone isn't working and they have no size, no athleticism, they're just getting killed by better teams. This game to me was tough. I lean Florida State, and the money's come on Florida State, and it's come on the under. Those were both things I would look here. I always talk about it. Jimmy and Buddy got to shoot well for the Syracuse team to play well. They're not very deep, and they chuck up a lot of threes and shoot a lot of the shots. So Florida State's dealt with so many injuries, the last few months. It seems like they've turned it around. They're a little more healthier. They won 3 straight. Obviously, that buzzer beater against Virginia was huge. So a little momentum with Leonard Hamilton and Florida State here. I don't have a pick on this game at all, but yeah, I lean Florida State a little bit. It's just I think of college basketball. I think these tournaments, I think Syracuse and Jim Boeheim winning. So it's very difficult. Now you're getting a few points, 2.5, just a tough game. Early morning, I lean under. These teams obviously could get over. Syracuse defense has been horrible. Florida State's been better at times throughout the season. Especially as of late, they've played better and kept games in the 60s. But, yeah, it's just one I'm off, but I like where the money's going. That's where I'd be on here.
Dabby Cab says, at one point, FSU had their entire starting 5 out. They're not the same team people think they know. And Razor Sharp Picks is moving at this number with no fear.
Yeah.
Syracuse, Florida State, under 144.5 for 2 hundo from our Razor Sharp Picks. Great. Excellent breakdown. That was fun to it's going to be a fun game regardless. And let's keep an eye out for live action while we're here. We just had Kyle Hintley and put a big boy bet down on Sacramento State. They were down 8-5. They have since scored 8 straight points and have a 13-8 lead. I have made a rule that I don't live bet games that I'm not watching, but I want action. Feel my palms dripping. And next up, we are skipping St. Joseph's and LaSalle. We're not going to break down each and every one of these daytime games. We're skipping it. We're moving over to the Mountain West. Is there anything you wanted to say, C-Mac, about St. Joseph's LaSalle in the A10 first round, or is it cool to move past it? I see you laughing already.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could pass that one. For sure.
Okay, I did make some cuts. There's Matty Ice in the house. Great to see you, Matty. Okay, then we move on to the Mountain West first round. Look, this isn't much better than the St. Joseph's LaSalle affair, but it is better. New Mexico Lobos, 13-8. 15-12 in conference. There's Nevada Wolfpack, 12-17, 6-12 in conference. Thomas Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. This game pops off in 2 hours and 15 minutes. And there's Noli Knows coming to us live from Vegas. He is on the St. Joseph's LaSalle under. From Noli Knows, St. Joseph's LaSalle under. And Matty Ice says, I'm on New Mexico here, plus 6.5. New Mexico closed up their regular season. I mean, they only won 5 games in conference, but 2 were in the last 3 games they played. They beat Air Force at home, 69-65, then played well at Fresno State, losing 71-68 before beating UNLV 76-67. So they've looked better. Nevada, ever since they destroyed lowly San Jose State 90-60 on the road in San Jose State, they've looked bad. They lose to UNLV by 8 at home. They lose to Wyoming by 13 on the road. They lose to Boise State by 6 on the road. And then they had a nice game against San Diego State, losing 79-78 there, the final game of the regular season. So let's see what we are dealing with here in this spot. Again, it pops off at 2 p.m. New Mexico opened up as 4.5-point dogs. That is stretched to 6.5. This total still sitting around 151. You can get a 150.5 or 151.5. And when we go to the cash flow, we have 7,023 tickets in. 31% of the tickets on New Mexico and 38% of the cash. So interesting that there's been a 2-point move towards the opposition. 68% of tickets on just moved to 69 on Nevada, but just 62% of cash. And then from the total side of things, 44% of tickets on the over and 61% of cash on the over. Take it away here, C-Mac. We head to the Mountain West. I know you know this conference very well. New Mexico, Nevada.
Yeah, this one should be interesting here, Jimmy. New Mexico has played a little bit better and a little bit towards the under, in 6 of their last 7. But this team's not very good defensively. 309 in scoring difference, 392 defensive field goal. They're just not good. One thing they do, they can score. They just had a big win at home against UNLV, a real hot UNLV team. Jamal Mashburn Jr., we all remember Jamal Mashburn, his kid, he can kill it, 18 points. House is good as well, scored 16. I like the Lobos here in this one. Nevada's just been this team that's been underperformed all year. They played their last home game pretty good against San Diego State. They lost 79-78. The problem is I like this under in this time of day. A game, it's kind of like the Florida State game. It's already going to hit. Problem is just I staring at these defensive numbers and seeing these teams. I've watched them play all year. You talked about the one game they did play 79-70. That gets an under. And I think, early morning, the problem is Thompson Mack Center is just going to be, no one's going to be there. I've gone to these three or 4 day games, where you can stay all day long and just get hammered and watch college basketball. And the first games in the morning, nobody's there. But when I look to these conference games, I got to look under. So I lean to Mexico with the points, and I like the under 150 here. They could just run it out of the gym and score a shitload, but I think this game stays under the total.
Interesting spot. Nothing official for CMAC here in.
No, but I might make that official. I'll let you know. I've been really looking at that.
That sounds good. Rodney Barnes says Lobos 1-5 against the spread in neutral site games. Nevada 5-0 against spread in neutral site games. I see a cover from Nevada today, but it will be close. And he's also leaning towards the under. And big shout out to our guy Wally. Says that he's moving out of ICU today. Isn't that great? Great news, man. That is great news. Nice short stay. Get out of there. Get home. And we can't wait to hang out with you in San Antonio. Love you so much, Wally. Love your energy. Love what you bring to chat, to our shows, and to everything. So that is great news, Wally. We love you. Sending as much positive energy, healing energy, love towards you. Get home, and great news. Great news. And Noli No says, wait, where should I go, C-Mag? The tickets are not cheap, though, for these 4-game package as well, right? Is it cheaper in Vegas than it is? Because in San Antonio, it's going to cost us a pretty penny to go to that Sweet 16.
Yeah, they're cheap for the conference, and then you get to stay if you want. You know what I mean? You even could leave, I think, and come back, like as long as you have your ticket. So they're gonna be like nothing like in San Antonio, believe me. But I don't know. Nobody goes to these games. It was hard for people to get in the stand. I mean, obviously we're just off COVID, but at the Thompson Mack Center can almost hold 20,000. It was hard to fill the bottom bowl there to get 8,000 there at the end when they started playing well. All that's going to be there is fans of these teams, like, a few hundred, it seems like, for Nevada and New Mexico. That's why I'm worried it's going to be like a YMCA gym, and they can score. But I think the total's still just a bit too high here. So I lean under.
All right. Well, let us know if you move on the under. Let's keep rolling. We head over to the Big Sky Championship first round action. Idaho State Bengals, who've been playing better basketball down the road. We backed them in their last game, and it looked like we were going to cash it throughout until, the last few seconds of that spot. 5-15 in conference versus Portland State, 12-16, 10-10 in conference. We're at Idaho Central Arena in Boise, and that's got to help the Bengals as well. They open up as 4.5-point dogs, no movement there. This total opened up at 137, and we see 135.5 on the board. Kyle Hintlian making a big bet on Portland State, and he also says that Nevada wins. Arthur Meade Jr. giving a final score of 75-72 Nevada in that spot. Pierre Suarez also looking at Portland State -4.5. Let's move over to the cash in this one, and maybe we should stop looking at it. This might be pushing. Oh, no, we have a ton of action here. 6,342 tickets in. 74% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on Portland State, and no movement. I mean, that's wild. And then 52% of tickets on the under, 47% of cash, and we have seen the 1.5-point move towards the under. These two teams played, 2 weeks ago at Portland State in a very tight 73-69 overtime win for the Vikings. And we moved on Idaho State 6 days ago against Southern Utah. I believe that was on last Thursday. And we were right there. Idaho State came on late, but couldn't seal the deal. Are you interested in going back to Idaho State here, C-Mac? How are you handling this spot?
I am a little bit. It's a lean for me here. Yeah, I saw the money on that as well. It hasn't moved much. They kind of played them tough. They won by 8 and 4 during the year, like you talked about. Idaho State, I think, has a little bit better defense. They played to the under more. So I think if you like Idaho State, this leans a little under in this spot. But the total for me at this number, I think, is dicey. Obviously, in the conference tourneys, early game, like I'm going to go over probably time and time again, unders just come through. They hit it almost a 60% clip. It's like 58% in these games. That's why we see tons of money, and these numbers go down every day. This one's come down a little bit, but regular season, I got to think this would be 8 points higher or more. You know what I mean? This total. So, because I think it could get over. This was a difficult game for me, but I'd lean the points a little bit. Portland State, I think, in the end's the better team. So I just wish I was getting 6.5 here, Jimmy. It's just like the 4.5 might not be enough. They've played them tough. And one thing, Idaho State can shoot the three well. I mean, they shoot like 37, 38%. They're decent from the foul line, 50% almost from two. So they could be in this one. So very good. I think this could be a very interesting game and close. So, yeah, it just leans for me here with Idaho State.
You have to think that with 79% or so of the tickets, 74% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on Portland State, and the line not even moving a half point, makes you think that Idaho State's going to be in this game, not moving off that 4.5. Market's telling us that Idaho State's going to be tight in this game. But I can understand. Are we only nervous about this because of our loss on Thursday? Do you think that's in our subconscious?
No, I don't think it is at all. Like I said, I wanted a little bit more than just 4.5. I just think that, I don't know. I needed a bit more. We needed more than 6, and they were at home, and I thought that was a great number. And I got 7.5 the night before. I got 6.5. We got that morning. It just missed it. That was at home against Southern Utah. Portland State can score. And one thing, Jimmy, it's mentioned, like it's 11-2, but one of those games was a push right at 135. But the last under they had, I believe, was against Idaho State. Portland State. They've gone 15-1. They've gotten over this number of 135. Portland State. So this team has played to the over pretty well. So that's why this seems like if this was a regular season, this total to me would be like 143, not 135. Yeah, like Noli says, these are great games to watch and to live bet. You could sit in the sports book all day long.
The taint play of the day, isn't it? It's Nebraska plus 5.5. Says Nebraska playing too well right now to be getting these points from Northwestern. Nebraska money line will also be on my card. Let's eat. That comes from our very own Maddie Ice. Taint play of the day is in. Shout out to Maddie, our guy. Taint is in. All right, let's move on and go back to the ACC. Boston College Eagles 12-19, 6-14 in conference versus Wake Forest Demon Deacons 23-8, 13-7 in conference. We're at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. We have Boston College opening up as 9.5-point dogs. They've moved to 10 at most books. This total opened up at 141.5, and you can get it there 141 or 141.5. We go over to the cash flow in this spot. Where is it? Not up here for some reason. Okay, strange. Not up here. Let's move over to the breakdown and set the table here for CMAC. Boston College won by 20 yesterday versus Pitt. They came in on a 3-game losing streak, and I wonder, I wonder if they feel pretty good about themselves right now, and that Wake Forest is ready to smash and grab. Wake Forest lost to Clemson, but then came back and beat Louisville by 22, beat NC State by 25. Is this possibly another situation where Wake Forest can put the boots down to Boston College? They faced Boston College when here. Let's get back to. They not faced Boston College? How's that possible? I don't have them even facing. Oh, sorry. Of course they did.
Yeah, they beat them.
Yeah, by 30.
Yeah. 30, 87, 57.
57, yeah, January 24th.
Yeah.
Wow. And the first game at Wake was canceled, but they beat up. I wonder if Boston College feels good about themselves after that 20-point win is going to let go here. Take it away, C-Mac. Boston College, Wake Forest.
I don't think so, but I've been wrong, and especially with this early start. Hey, last time I just wanted to. I know a lot of people in the chat like Wake first half. I do too a little bit. They were up 1, and then they beat NC State by 31 in the second half, and I'm like, holy shit! I had the whole game too, so it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, I think Wake rolls here. I wanted you to look up for me real quick. Could you look up the Wake team total? I think it's 73.5 or something like that. Or somebody has it in the chat. I look at their team total a little bit more. I know BC plays decent defense, but usually that's at home where they can slow the pace. Even on our neutral floor, it'll be tough for them in this game. You have a number?
Well, I have a real bad one that they're offering me.
75.5.
75.5, but I'm sure I can get a better one here at Pinnacle. So I'm just going to jump over there. That's way, way too high. Here we go. At Pinnacle, we can give you a 74.5.
Yeah, I lean that way. I think they're going to get there. So I think Wake Forest here. I think they can cover the number as well. Just watch out in some of these early morning neutral games. They can just kind of be slow to get going, and next thing you know, Wake wins by 8 or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? I've seen it happen time and time again every year. But they should handle business.
Yeah, Reich says that they've covered that team total the last 5 games.
Yes.
All right. And Diesel, I will get to. Sorry, yesterday was a bit of a rough spot for me. Had to run around. And Matty Ice says, can we get the Ryder song from Pete recorded? Ryder plus 11.5 is on my card today.
I like it.
Yes, we can get that. The Bronx looked really good yesterday. Interesting. Very interesting, because generally I would think that Boston College might be fat and happy here, but you're right. This very early spot, and Boston College now playing with no pressure. Maybe I'm actually coming back a little bit. I certainly would want Wake Forest for 40 minutes and not 20 if I was betting this game, just in case there's a little bit of, fucking dirt in the, just in case they're a little slow moving off the top. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on to the Pac-12. That's next up here. Stanford Cardinal. This is at 3 p.m. Eastern. Stanford Cardinal 15-15, 8-12 in conference versus Arizona State Sun Devils 14-16, 10-10 in conference. We're at T-Mobile Arena here for this one, and we have Stanford opening up as 3-point dogs. It moved to 4, then 4.5, and this total at 127.5 has gone up 1 point to 128.5. And we have 8,788 tickets in here, and it's all Arizona State. And we see the market moving towards them. 81% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on Arizona State. And then it's all on the under, which is strange because it's gone up a point. 70% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the under here. The Cardinal come in losing, and Arizona State the exact opposite. Arizona State just beat Stanford by 9 at home. It was their 4th straight win, and it was just 4 days ago. It was just 4 days ago. And Stanford has lost 5 straight games. They do not look good. And Stanford beat Arizona State back on January 22nd, beat them handily. Oh, not handily, sorry, 79-76. Take it away here. Is this a smash spot for Arizona State to get their tournament started?
I think so. Now they're on a neutral site here, Jimmy. It's a little different, but 4 days after, the same team, we see it in college basketball. Usually they're on the road, they get blown out, they come back home and can cover. They get blown out by 30. They lost by 9. I was on Arizona State on Saturday, -6. Just got the cover there against Stanford. That game stayed way under the total. The total's pretty sharp here, but I could only look under. This Stanford team has trouble scoring the basketball. It's ugly to watch. They're slow. Arizona State is too, but they've been more efficient on offense as of late. With a team that's plays at a more pace, they do. So with a team like Stanford, this has got to be low scoring. I could only look at the under. But Graham Jackson, DJ Thorne, all these guys have really come into their own. They just dealt with those injuries for so long and kind of just sucked so bad. They've just really pulled through. To me, this is just, it's hard to look at Stanford and take it. It's just the 4-day thing. I just took them Saturday. They were laying 6. Now they're laying 4.5 in Vegas at T-Mobile. I mean, to me, it's still Arizona State, and I can only look under here.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that they just beat them.
Yes.
By 9.
It's turning right around.
It just that isn't the kind of angle that I prefer to be betting into. So I've nothing official for me either that I want to bet at this point, but I do want to have action here. Billy Friedrich says Stanford team total is at 61.5. Kyle Hintlian says Arizona State looking good. Kyle also saying take Wake first half. Trust us, Boston guys, take Wake Forest first half. If this was a game at 7:00 at night, I would come for sure. I would. That's the only thing that it just makes me a little nervous. A morning start with the opposition playing with the house's money. So that just not an angle that I'd prefer to put my money on. But I certainly think Wake Forest is a much better basketball team than Boston College. So Kyle Henley says Boston College tired, man. Why would they be? Kids after one game, one big win. I mean, I think they come to the court today relaxed and feeling like
So I think they're just So, I think they come out loose.
But look, Kyle, there's a reason why you make much bigger bets than I make. Your success. So look, I trust your instincts for sure. It's just not an angle I think I'm going to hammer. Ryan Kozlowski says Arizona State sucked in January. Different team now. Defense is looking good. And Diesel said I could honestly see Boston College first half, but Wake Forest is going to win by 12+. All right, let's move over to the A10. That is next for us. A10 action. First round, Duquesne Dukes. Man, have they been abysmal of late. 6-23 overall, but 1-16 in conference versus the Rhode Island Rams. 14-15, 5-12 in conference. We are at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Let's move over there and get the Action Network up here and see what we are dealing with. Duquesne opening up as 9.5-point dogs. No movement there. And this total opened up at 131.5. There's 132.5 on the board, so it's creeping up. And we have 5,548 tickets in here. And 47% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on Duquesne. And there's been no market move, so that all makes sense. And then 26% of the tickets on the under, but 98% of the cash is on this under at Capital One Arena. The Dukes have just been losing and losing and losing. 3 losses back. They were at Rhode Island and lost 70-54. That's a lone win for Rhode Island over the last little while. They lose to St. Louis 80-74. They close their regular season at St. Joe's and lose 70-60. It's a big spread for not a very good team, but I don't know if the Dukes are trying. They certainly looked like they were trying in that 98-93 triple overtime loss at George Washington, but George Washington trash too. Take it away here. Atlantic 10 Championship first round, CMAC, Duquesne, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Duquesne stinks, Mike. Yeah, they're not very good here. Very bad. This team can't score. 314th in the country. Rhode Island's offense isn't much better. 280. They're the better basketball team here. 9 is a lot. But one thing Rhode Island plays is a lot better defense. Their defense is a top 40 defense in the country. They'll hold Duquesne down. I like the under here. I like the team total. I think someone mentioned it in here. I liked it as well last night when I was looking if you could get a 60.5. I don't think they get to 60 tonight. I think the under's good here. Jimmy, because Rhode Island, what the score of the last game was 70-54. I see that similar here. I just, neutral floor. I always look under in one of these games. Both these teams struggle, slow pace. Rhode Island is the better team. I'm not going to lay 9. They win the basketball game. But I like the under, and I like Duquesne's team total under as well.
Well, let's get you that. I have a 132.5 here. It is juiced to minus 113. I wonder if I can beat that anywhere. Let's see if I can beat that over at Circa or any of these American books. 132.5. I have 132.5 minus 110. Where is this? This is at FanDuel. I don't know if I'll have to pull it up to make sure that that's a real line, but 132.5 at minus 110 at FanDuel. Let's lock that in right now. Under 132.5. So that's 3 cents better than what's being offered for CMAX. So CMAX first spot on the board under 132.5 at minus 110 is locked in. Then let's go over and get you a team total here. And are we going under for the Dukes?
Yeah. If you get, 60.5.
I can get a 61.5 at minus 112.
61. That works.
All right. So at Duquesne, I wonder if this is a spot that Noli's moving on to. Duquesne team total under 61.5 at minus 112. And 132 at minus 108 at Bookmaker. But I can get the hook over here. But thank you for checking that out here. And Arthur Mead's already on that Duquesne team total under.
Yeah.
So we are in a business here. And Duquesne team total under 61's minus 110. We'll take the 1.5 right there. All right, let's move on. So we have CMAC moving on 2 different spots there in the A10. So we're going to move over to the SEC. We have 3 games left that we are going to cap before we get into NBA and the triumphant return of Darryl in the house. We move over to the SEC first round. Ole Miss 13-18, 4-14 in conference versus the Missouri Tigers, 11-20, 5-13 in conference. We're at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Let's get everything over here quickly and see what we are dealing with. Let's move over to this spot. 6 p.m. This pops off here. And it pops off at the same time as Nebraska. So we've already heard from our guy, Matty Ice. Taint play of the day is Nebraska plus 5.5. And why am I not getting this? Here we go. Ole Miss opening up as 3.5-point favorites. That's moved to 4. This total opened up at 131.5 and is now at 130.5. And Syracuse has taken a 2-point lead 4 minutes in that spot against Florida State. So that's just popping off here. We'll see what goes on. All right, let's take a look at this Ole Miss spot and set the table for CMAC. Ole Miss coming in as losers of 4 straight. They played pretty well at Kentucky, losing 83-72. They played pretty well at Auburn, really. They ended up losing by 13. They lose at home to Vanderbilt by 2 to close out the regular season. So 4 straight losses following them winning at Georgia, but that doesn't mean a lot here. And Missouri was losing until they faced Georgia to close out the regular season, 79-69. Take it away here, CMAC. Ole Miss, Missouri.
Yeah, a couple of bad teams here playing in the first round. I'm a little shocked that Ole Miss is favorite. I thought this might be maybe a 1-point favorite or maybe a pick 'em. They both were bad. I guess that they think Ole Miss in the end is a little bit better than Missouri. One thing, Missouri can just hang in basketball games. I don't know how they do it. Especially at home. They've been really bad on the road. I got a bunch of stuff. I love this under a little bit too, but a lot of stuff I've looked up in the past, these neutral games have gone over for both these teams. But looking at this total, I can only look under. But anyways, when they met both times, Jimmy, this year, Missouri won them both. And they scored well. You know, both games, I believe, went over. It was like 74-68, and I got to think of the other one. I forget what the other one was, but Missouri won them both. So I guess they think, can't beat a team 3 times. I just think this is too many points on a neutral floor. This jumped in me. Even at 3.5, it's 4, at most places now. I think if Old Miss wins, it's close. So give me over the 3 points here, the 4. Give me the +4 with Missouri. And total-wise, I can only look at the under as Missouri, 318th scoring offense. So if you like them, you're going to like the under. So you know what I mean? Even though these teams went over, Missouri shot some of their best those games. Their field goal percentage was their best of the season against Old Miss. So you got to think of that. That's probably why this line's a little bit like this. But I still think this is too much here. Too much love for the Rebels in this one. Missouri has balance with Brown. Some of these other guys, I think they just get it done. They're slow enough to kind of just stay in a ball game. And I think they could stay in this one. So I like the 4, and I'd lean under here.
Well, let's see where most of the offshores are hanging 3.5s, but there are 4s there. +4 at -110.
4 with Westgate.
All
Circa.
The legal American bets are hanging, or books, excuse me. All right, let's lock you in. Missouri is locked in. Missouri +4 at -110 for CMAC. All right, we have 2 games left that we are going to discuss. And I know you've kept a close eye on the next one. So let's break it down right now. This is Conference USA Championship second round. Rice Owls 15-15, 7-11 in conference for Charlotte 49ers, 17-13, 10-8 in conference. We're at the Ford Center in Frisco. We have where the hell did this just go? Sorry, I just had it up here. We have Rice opening up as 2.5-point dogs. One book has moved it to 3. This total opened up at 143.5 and has dropped to 140.5. So, sorry, let me move over. Pinnacle. I know that you were worried about market movement here before you got to making this official, and I can imagine you might be uncomfortable here with where it's gone. You could have had it at a better line. Maybe you already bet it at a better line. Take it away here. Let us know. Rice, Owls, Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, this was my favorite look last night here with Charlotte. It hasn't moved that much. Charlotte won both meetings. Rice has shot the ball decent, but defensively they're horrible. They're 316th in the country. Charlotte's been able to take care of them all year. They're just a little bit better basketball team. They're laying the short number here. Jimmy, I think Jameer Young, the whole crew for Charlotte, get it done. They do the little things. And Rice, when they're not at home, it seems like, just aren't very good. They just can't stop anybody. One thing Rice that could keep them in a game on this neutral floor is they shoot it decent from 3, but they're kind of hit and miss. I'm all over Charlotte here. 7th best team from the free throw line in the country. I always love that when I'm laying a couple points. I always look up this stuff. So I'm all over Charlotte here. I think you can only give me a 2.5, which is fine. I got 2 last night, but 2.5 works here. I think Charlotte gets it done for the 3rd time, as Rice just defense isn't enough in this one. They're going to have to really shoot it, I think, to beat Charlotte, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I can get you -2.5 and -110. Pinnacle has moved it to 3 as well. So clearly love coming in for Charlotte. CMAC, you are in Charlotte. -2.5 at -110. You are in business. Let's move on to the final spot on the board here. Now, all of the late games will be broken down by our guy C-Mac alongside Maxwell Smart. But we have the ACC Tournament next, second round. Louisville Cardinals 13-18, 6-14 in conference versus the Virginia Cavaliers. Here, this goes off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We saw Louisville take care of business last night versus Georgia Tech, 84-74. And it was a look that was given out on the show, and it worked very well for you all. And these two teams just faced each other. Virginia went into Louisville, beat them by 10 last game of the regular season. And I wonder if you want to back them here. Let's move over and see what we are dealing with in this spot. Again, it's a late game. It pops off at 9:30 p.m. Let me get over there. And here we go. Louisville opening up as 5.5-point dogs, moves to 6.5. And then this total goes from 123.5 to 122.5. Take it away, C-Mac.
Yeah, that's the first thing that jumps out with me here is the total. Even at this total, I lean under in this one. But here's the problem with Virginia. On a neutral floor, even laying this number at home, they're decent. I talk about it with North Texas, a team that's a dead under team, Jimmy, but that will cover number for you. Virginia hasn't done that. Even when they were great, it was difficult for them to cover these kind of numbers. Now we're on a neutral floor. Louisville's, I guess, got a little bit. Virginia's the better basketball team, led with Wong and everyone else. I think they win this game. I'm just having a tough time. I always talk about a neutral site game, even with 6.5, 7, laying this number. I think Virginia wins. I just can't get on here laying the number with them.
Marshall Hoffman says Rice money line to the moon. Robert Franklin says, I like Charlotte. Yeah, Rice away from home, not good. And then here, Virginia might win by double digits. Virginia probably 59% to the over. It says take it. T-Mac says Louisville minus 13.5 point difference last 4. Virginia plus 7 point difference against teams between 125 and 161. Virginia first half is the play. Michael Everlinian says I like Virginia as a money line parlay piece.
Yeah, they just beat them by 10. Well, not that long ago, right? Like a week ago or something?
5 days ago?
A few days ago? Yeah. So I think Virginia wins. They're just the better team overall. Louisville's had trouble all year. They've played better, the last 3 or 4 games of the year. But I'm not interested in them. This is Virginia or pass for me.
Mike M says cocktail number 1 is poured, and it is stiff. Arthur Mead Jr. says, I agree. Conor Mac neutral court is the difference here. All right, so
if they were at home, that'd be different. You know what I mean? I agree.
There is our NCAA coverage for today. CMAC and Noli Knows will be on the show tomorrow to break down more for you guys. Again, the taint play of the day is Nebraska plus 5.5. Diesel says Virginia wins, but don't lay the 6. So CMAC has moved on Charlotte minus 2.5 at minus 110. He's moved on Missouri plus 4 at minus 110. He's on the under 132.5 in Duquesne, Rhode Island, and Duquesne team total under 61.5, and he's staying off of these early games. But you were close to making some additions. Is there anything you wanted to add on those early games? We have New Mexico, Nevada, Idaho State, Portland, Boston College, Wake, Stanford, and Arizona State.
Yeah, this could bite me. I hope it doesn't. It's just too many, and I gotta hope for some bricks in this one, especially with these two teams. But at 150, give me that under New Mexico, Nevada here early. Thompson Mac.
The under in New Mexico, Nevada. Let me see if I can get you a good line here, and then we go into NBA basketball here. Let's see what I can get you. I can get you a 151.
Yep,
minus
that works.
111 over at Pinnacle. I believe that's going to be the best we can get. Let me just see if that is the best we can get here. And yeah, that's the best we can get. But I can get that at minus 110 instead of minus 111. So, okay, final edition here. Again, this game pops off in an hour and 40 minutes. New Mexico, Nevada. CMAC has moved on the under 151 at minus 110. And Real Deal Prime says, we are better for being here. We thank you, CMAC. We thank you, CMAC.
Shout out to the chat.
Sure. Yeah, great.
Love all those guys.
Great group. Kyle Hitlian has one last question before you go. Says Eastern Washington. Now, again, we're going to cap the early games as much as we can here on our live show. And then for NCAA Net Profits at 5 p.m., you're going to get all of the late games. But is Eastern Washington going to end up on your card, CMAC?
No, but I think they take care of business. Northern Arizona has played a little bit better as the year's gone on and in conference. Usually that's at home. But on the neutral floor here, I would actually, only lean to lay it with Eastern Washington to 7.5. I think they can take care of business, but it's just a lean. I haven't bet it for him. I'm just letting them know. I'd lay it if I had to there.
I love it. There's Juan Ruiz in the house, giving love to Miggity Mac.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, C-Mac. Anything you want to get us excited for the late game? Any breakdowns you're really excited about? Anything you want to say to the chat before we move on to NBA?
No, but shout out to the chat. As I always say, you guys are the best in the goddamn game, as I always say. No doubt, all these guys here, hands down, unbelievable handicappers. and join us later. Yeah, there's games. There's a few games, the late games that I'm looking at so come check it out. Net profit. I looked at that last night, but it's moved. Like Matty Ice got. Nebraska's red hot. They're missing their freshman at 17 points, but that didn't stop them the other day from going in and winning. He didn't play. So that's one of the ones I'm looking at a lot. So Kansas State. There's a few games. So yeah, join me 5 Eastern. I don't want to hold you too much longer here. Kick me off.
Much love, C-Mac. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. All right, let's move on to NBA. And it's been a while since we've seen your next guest. He said that he had a goal on this show in NBA. That goal was to hit 60% in NBA. And with the last victory that he cashed, he got there. 54 wins, 36 losses, 60%. Plus 15.64 units, an ROI of plus 17.38%, average line of minus 106. And then the momentum stopped. There was the All-Star break, and then he beat up COVID like the little bitch COVID is. And now he's back in action, and we've missed him dearly. Please welcome to the show, coming to us from Los Angeles, California, Darryl Rice in the house. Darryl, what's happening?
Yo, what is motherfucking good, man? What is good, Jay? Beyond happy. I am beyond happy to be back today. Beyond happy, man. It's been a long time coming. Between Omarion, between funerals, between the All-Star break, this has just been a crazy round of weeks. But I'm happy, man. I am happy to be back, Jay. It is a pleasure to see you. We're getting closer and closer to this Pubapalooza. Bruh, miss my cats in the chat too, man. So it's 12 games. It's a large slate. I'm going to be reckless today. I'm telling you now. What way to come back with just get reckless as fuck, not care, try to keep this 60% going, and let's get into it, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody who has reached out to me. Jimmy, even yourself, I just appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh man, we love you. We love you straight up. Love capping with you. Love hanging with you. Can't wait to roll with you in San Antonio, and just you being a huge addition to the Pub Sports Radio family. And we're just thankful to roll with you. And watching you go to 60% was extremely impressive.
Yeah,
extremely impressive.
Trying to keep it going.
All right. Let's get to work right now, and we start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The chat giving you a ton of love, and
I know I appreciate y'all. I see it. Thank you.
We start with the Boston Celtics, 39-27, 16-16 on the road. Hard to believe a team that's looking so good right now would just be 500 on the road. At the Charlotte Hornets, 32-34, 16-16 at home. Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Boston 4-1 over their past 5, 26th in pace at 96.40 possessions a game, while Charlotte 2-3, 13th at pace at 100.7 possessions a game. The Celtics open up as 6.5-point favorites. They move to 7.5-point favorites. This total opens up at 226.5, and it's now at 226 or 225.5. So take a look at the cash flow here. 8,738 tickets in, 72% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the Celtics. Then 69% of tickets, 61% of cash on the over. Celtics coming off their third straight win, 126-120 home over Brooklyn on Sunday. Tatum was just a monster. The way he's a man now, right? When we saw him come into the league, we were like, well, wait till he's got a man's body. Now he goes into the paint, and he puts his shoulder into somebody, and you're like, this guy moves out of the way. And it's just so impressive. Averaging 26.5 points, 8.2 boards on the season. Has reached the 30-point mark in 21 of 62 games. Hornets are on the second half of a back-to-back after having their modest 2-game winning streak snapped. 132-121 loss at home to the Nets last night. They're 2-9 in their past 11 home games. Luchase Fox says Celtics all day. Mike M says Celtics first quarter smash spot. 12 straight wins as a road favorite. Diesel said I would like a -5.5. We always beat the Hornets. Kyle Hintley's on the alternate line at -9. And Danny Lopez says favorite pass, having the rest advantage. Celtics have been rolling. Take it away here. Darryl, your first game back in action, Celtics Hornets.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I can't be mad at you if you are all on Celtics, whether it's the spread itself, whether it is an alt line. I just didn't get there with the spread. And the reason why is because how well Charlotte plays in the second half, right? How well they play in the second half. And it seemed like an easy choice just to take the Boston Celtics because of how well they're being coached up. And to your point, how Jason Tatum is playing lights out, that Mamba Academy manual has finally kicked in. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're on Boston, I couldn't talk you off of it. I just couldn't get there because of how close these numbers are in the second half. So I looked at an angle, right? My angle really was looking at the team's total for Boston. Boston's team total right now, do you know who is first in the league in opponents' points scored in the first half? Boston. Boston's first in the league with their opponent scoring only 50 points on average in the first half. Do you know who's second to last in the league? Charlotte. Charlotte averaging and allowing almost 60 points, 59 points in opponents' points per scoring in the first half. Now, when you look at their body of work over the last 10 games, Boston ATS is actually below 500, right? So for whatever reason, they're winning games, but they're not covering these spreads in the first half. And when you look at the surge that Charlotte makes in the second half, they go from last in the league to second to last in the league to opponents' points scored per game, right? But if you flip that stat around to points per game in the second half, they're third. So they make these surges. We talked about how Borrego gets them hooked up at halftime, and they do okay. They're actually better than Boston. So the play here, to me, if you ask me, that makes a little sense, is going to be Boston first half team total over 56.5 points because of the amount of points that Charlotte allows on average, and it is even looked that way in the last three. Boston's going to clamp them down. We know that, right? And then we know those legs are probably going to go in the second half for Charlotte, which is the reason why this spread has gone up a point. And the reason why a lot of people are probably on Charlotte, or Boston, those numbers are too close to me. But what Boston scores in the first half is on average about 54 points. Charlotte is not going to stop them. So I'll take the 4.5 points, and I will take this low number at 56.5. Give me Boston Celtics over 56.5 points in the first half.
All right, let's see. I'm going to pull up a couple different spots here, but I will line shop while we are breaking down the next game. But let's lock Darryl in. First game firing right off the top. Celtics team total over 56.5, and we'll see if we can get them or what kind of lines we can get them. For some reason, Pinnacle has just dropped all of their games in NBA. They do weird shit. I'm going to try to refresh this and see if I can get it here. And no, they've dropped.
Yeah, Sammy is saying Celtics is a big public play. And you know we like to fade the public, but that should tell you something. There's a couple of teams that could allow the public to make a lot of money. Boston isn't one of them. Chicago is, right? But not Boston. So it's be very, very wary here. Be very, very wary. I do like Boston to win this game, but just for whatever reason, even with the back-to-back, I couldn't get there. So I do like the team total over first half. It is low enough to where I do believe they can get it going. Charlotte is just allowing just a ridiculous average. So I do like that first half look.
All right, well, let's keep rolling. Next up, we have 7 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Bulls, 39-26, 15-16 on the road at the Detroit Pistons, 18-47, 11-21 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Bulls are scuffling.
Yes.
And for those of you who have been big DeMar DeRozan fans, this should come as no surprise, really, that when the games get tougher, DeRozan-led teams stop winning. And I don't, I'm a fan of DeRozan, but I spent too many years of my life with a minute left in a game watching the Raptors call an ISO for DeRozan and just going, no one's going to move anymore? We're just going to watch DeRozan ISO and lose the game?
Yeah.
Detroit, it's bothersome, and that's why, when he was let go, there wasn't a ton of we. The thing about DeRozan, the reason why we loved him up here was because he was one of the few players that wanted to play in Toronto, wanted to play in Canada, and we know that that's not easy to find. Detroit 4-1 over their past 5, 28th in pace at 95.33 possessions a game. Bulls open up at 6.5. They've moved to 5.5. This total opened up at 226.5. Is now at 227.5. And we have 9,000 tickets in. 44% of the tickets on the Bulls, 58% of the cash is moving in the opposite direction. 55% of tickets on the under, and 96% of cash on the under. Bulls come in off their fifth straight loss, 121-106 at Philly on Monday night. They've beaten Detroit 10 straight times. 10. They've also will complete another season sweep.
Yeah.
And Vooch has hamstring tightness. And we saw what happened to the paint when he's not standing there. And Embiid went for 43 points without breaking a sweat. Lonzo Ball, Caruso being out since mid-January. Patrick Williams has been battling injuries for a long time. So it's DeRozan and Levine carrying the load. The Bulls are 0-9 against teams ahead of them in the conference standing. I know that doesn't matter here. Detroit comes in off their third straight win, 113-110 in overtime over the Hawks at home on Monday. And Cade is looking like the rookie of the year. Now, he won't win it because it's taken him a little too long to look like this, but 28 points and 10 assists. Billy Friedrich says the under 228 in this one. Dan Kelly says I got on Detroit +6 early. But the database likes the Bulls in the over. So this is a feel spot for Dan Kelly. Very, very interesting. Take it away here. Oh, and by the way, Joe Yurkovich is on the under 228. Says Bulls and Pistons both 2-8 to the under in division games. 228, pretty high total. Take it away, Darryl. Can't wait to hear you break down Bulls Pistons.
Okay, so you're not going to like me here because this I feel is a very, very square play. But I'm going to play it because I do believe we can get some money out of this. I like Detroit +1.5 first quarter. I like Detroit first quarter +1.5. And this is the reason why. If you look at the body of work that Detroit has with Chicago, where they lose is the second quarter and so on. This line being at -5.5 should scare you. Now, maybe there's a little recency bias here because of the games that Detroit has been winning. And really, the games that the Bulls have been losing. Good comment by Astute Chaos, where it says that Chicago is 0-14 right now with opponents that are like top opponents. So they're not beating the good teams. They're not beating the good teams. Opponents' points average first quarter, these teams are tied at 28. They're tied at 28, right? Opponents' points scored first quarter, these teams are tied at 28. Pistons' first quarter ATS right now is 4-5. Do you know what they are first half ATS? 7-2. 7-2. So I'll take the under 500 for the 4-5-1 for Detroit Pistons. I do believe Detroit is going to get these guys in the first quarter. I do believe so. Their points per game, I'll put this up real quick, in the first quarter, they're actually better than the Bulls by 3. Right now, over the last 3, points per game in the first quarter, Bulls are at 30, Detroit is at 33. And I do believe you're going to see that momentum going. I really do. Now, if they're going to lose, they're going to lose after the first quarter. So give me Detroit +1.5 first quarter. I do believe that they will win the first quarter, but this is a game that can get out of hand for them. This line should scare you, right? This line should scare you. It's kind of weird for a team that's got a team's number, and it's at 5.5. And for what it's worth, this line's not getting very much movement, right? It's not getting very much movement at all. So because of how Detroit has been playing as of late, and they've been playing some good teams, if you look at it really, I mean, Detroit is just a terrible team, but their last 3 games and their body of work has been pretty good. I mean, to beat Atlanta, wow, that's saying a lot. Even to beat Indy sucks, but they do have Hallie over there. They've got some moving pieces, but they beat them. They did beat them still, and to beat Toronto. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. Now, I believe Toronto didn't have their guards in that game. Doesn't matter. These guys are long and lengthy. So I do like Detroit first quarter +1.5. I've already stepped on that. I do believe they can come out and win this first quarter. What they do after that is going to be kind of suspect, but I do believe they will have a faster start. then Chicago. And if they do, live bet the game first half also.
You are in a business. I'm still working on getting you a. Can anybody find a 56.5 that's cheaper? Pinnacle's down, or their NBA is down, I should say. And the best team total for the Celtics first half I can find is 56.5, but it's a minus 116. So if we could look at that. Dennis Garcia says, just take Detroit full game. They've covered like 8 straight or whatever it is. Chicago's been a fraud all year. Only difference now is catching up to them.
Chicago doesn't play against really good teams, right? And I mean, come on, man. I mean, they can't be a fraud all year. And these guys, like, what, in the top 3? I mean, where are they right now? Are they number 3 or 4? And this has been without Caruso and Ball. You didn't have Levine for some time. I mean, we got to give these guys a little bit of credit. We got to give these guys how they're playing is pretty well. Now, remember, I just told you, Chicago is one of those teams that will allow the public to make money. Right? They will allow. Remember in the beginning of the year, public was all over Chicago, and they're like, here you go. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? So 5.5, it is kind of suspect, right? But it is doable for Chicago, who needs a win right now. And this is the team to do it against, right? This is the team to do it against. So I do believe Detroit can start off fast. They do have some momentum going, and it's going to be in their best interest to start off fast. So we'll see. My lane there is Detroit first quarter only. It's just one of those things where I wanted to get in and out of this game because it could get messy.
Well, you are locked in right now, plus 1.5 at minus 109. We can get a cent off of it, of the team total, down to minus 115 from Cashman 19 on the 56.5. So I'll wait for Pinnacle to come out. But thank you guys. And Mike M says first quarter looks interesting, Darryl. That they are 5 straight wins as a first half dog. I could see a fast start. All right, let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 52-13, 24-6 on the road at Miami Heat, 44-22, 23-7 at home. We're at FTX Arena, Miami, Florida. Phoenix 3-2 over the past 5, 18th in pace, 99.40 possessions game, while Miami is 4-1, 25th in pace, 96.70 possessions a game. Let's move over to the market that we are dealing with. Suns open up at plus 8. That goes down to 5.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Plus 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
This total opens up at 216.5, and now we see a 218 and a 218.5. So I said when I was talking to Teddy Covers, that if the Warriors and the Grizzlies don't push the Suns, I really see them not covering on the road as we go through the rest of the season. And
wow.
I put that into work yesterday and took the Magic really confidently, and the Suns barely pulled out a win. They have no reason to beat teams by margin or put their foot down or anything like that. I mean, we'll see what changes when Booker comes back, but
right.
I still stand by the sentiment that I had. Let's see what's going on with the cash in this spot. 6,027 tickets, 40% of the tickets on the Suns, 60% of the cash, and the market moving towards them. Then 51% of the tickets, 92% of cash on the under, and it's gone up 2.5 or 3 points depending on where you shop. Astute Chaos says Gavin Tolliver, his line opened up at 226 in the Bulls game. Yeah, we have 226.5 was the opener that we hear the action is saying, but I hear you. Astute Chaos says Phoenix Miami first half under 106.5 for him at minus 112. Thank you for sharing
interesting.
That. I'm gonna copy and paste that.
Interesting play. I kind of like that actually.
Copy and paste that. Okay, Suns on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Magic 102-99 in Orlando last night. Heat are 23-7 at home. They get Kyle Lowry back. Victor Oladipo is now in the backcourt. I don't know what he's going to give them, really. Lowry went scoreless in 32 minutes, but he's a confident primary ball handler. He'll just get rolling at some point. And Oladipo comes back for 11 points, 4 assists in 15 minutes. And there was a lot at a poker game I was at. They were talking about how good he looked over and over and over again. So, lot of question marks here for the Heat. And we really kind of know what the Suns are giving you right now without 3 important ball handlers. So take it away here, Darryl. Can't wait to hear you break down Suns Heat.
So we do understand that the Suns are a well-coached team, and we do understand that the Heat are a well-coached team. Right? The Heat have been just giving it to people and literally not even being full strength. Right? They've been playing with just a Tetris lineup, if you want to call it that. Right? Where Spoles is just putting in what works, and surprisingly, it's working. I do believe Victor Oladipo could turn around and take Kyle Lowry's trap if he don't get it together. Now, they paid Kyle, right? But Victor Oladipo's got a little bit of bounce in him. I like what I'm seeing out of him in the small little sample size that I did see with Victor Oladipo. I like Dwayne Dedmon. I'm a big fan of Antelope Valley's finest, Dwayne Dedmon. When I look at this game, what is going to really, really work for Miami is the fact that they've been playing kind of off roster, if you will, the entire season. And when you look at Phoenix Suns, remember, a big part of Monty Williams' coaching and his rotation is that he plays D-Book the entire first quarter, right? D-Book plays 12 minutes in the first quarter. So now you have D-Book off the court. Possibly. He may come back today. And you've got Jimmy Butler, who's possibly now been downgraded to questionable, which is why the number has gone to -5. I do believe Miami can get this done by a lot still, but these are two well-coached teams that are pretty deep to a certain degree, right? They do have some players who can come off the bench and play. It's proven, but without Book, without Cam Johnson, and without Chris Paul, who's the biggest crutch there, I don't see how the Suns are going to get it done. I mean, we saw how they were not working even with Chris Paul off. Now you're taking set pieces off the court that really matter to the Suns. So you're putting the ball in Cam Payne's hands, who, if you're scouting him right, just don't let him go left, right? You're giving a lot more opportunity to Jay Crowder. So if you like Jay Crowder, look at his props. Look at his points here. I didn't make a play on this, and I stopped once Butler went out. Right now, if this line goes down a little further, I just might get onto it. But for the most part, this is not a game that I really wanted any action in, because now you got too many moving parts. That is going to affect the outcome of this game. The Suns, to me, should make it close. And they should be able to stay within that 6.5, right? But I personally don't feel confident in playing either side because of how these teams are built. I do like Miami to win, but now you're incorporating Victor Oladipo. And to your point, how is that going to affect Kyle Lowry? It's just too many moving parts now for me to make a confident bet on either side. I even looked at the first half for Miami, but they suck. They suck ATS first half. So it's one of those things where, okay, let me pause and see how this game plays out, but I don't have any action on this game.
It's down to 4 right now.
I really don't want to play it. I really don't. That's a lot of action coming in.
I would rather
that tells me Jimmy Butler isn't playing and Book is playing. No Jimmy Butler, but you got Booker.
Yeah.
And now do you at this point fade the star player when he comes back? Right? Because yeah. So if I have to choose a side here, I'm going to jump back on the Miami side, because now this line is low enough from me to where Miami can jump on and win this game by 5 points? Yeah. Considering that they've been playing decimated all year, and you've got a regrouping Phoenix Suns who still does not have Chris Paul playing. Yeah, so this is one of these games to where Miami should be able to get it done. I swear to God, man, I just might jump on Miami with that news confirmed. This is down to 4. This is insane. That's a lot of movement to Phoenix, and I don't think they're good enough to get it done.
I like this line at 4. Now, Pinnacle still off the board. When Pinnacle pulls every game, there's stuff going on that they're trying to regroup here. I keep refreshing it because I want to give lines out with them. Here, they're back up. Okay, back up. So they have this off the board, but all the other games are up at least. So I just wanted to see if I get you a better team total over at Pinnacle for that first half. Celtic spot, and I can't.
I'm jumping on it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I am jumping on it. I swear to God that line is wrong. I swear to God that line is wrong. Give me Miami -4.
So I've got -4 and -110 here.
What do you get for 4.5?
Bet 365. I will check 4.5 at -105 at Circa, but I'll see what I can get you here with the main.
Give me the 4 because I can push. I can push. Give me Miami -4. This team is going to get loose. They're going to get loose.
I'm with you. I'm going to make this bet as well. -4 and -110 is what is available right now. And JT saying Syracuse up by 22. It's Boeheim. And okay, so let's just put this here. Okay, so we have Darryl in business -4 at -110 for the Heat. And he has made a move on every game. Remo says, why not wait till Jimmy Buckets is ruled out and Booker confirmed back?
Because the line has already adjusted itself for that, I believe. I believe so. So if the thing is it's a gamble at this point. We've talked about this too, right, Jay? And that is it's a game within a game, right? So let's say he's questionable, but now that Booker's playing, he's like, all right, I'm going to go. Well, that line's going to go back up and you're going to miss the value, right? So you have to make a determination if he's going to play or not. I'm more inclined to think that he would play, to be honest with you. But the books have to adjust in advance so there's not that much movement on the line. So I would at least think that this one here, Jimmy, even if he doesn't go, the lines have already adjusted itself. But if Jimmy does go, this is going to move up a hook, maybe a whole point, back to 5. It's going to realign itself back to 5. So I think you have the best value right now.
Yeah, my thought process would be, I think that he's got sinus congestion. They'll be able to figure that out, I assume, and he will be in, and this will be 5.5.
Just give him some Afrin. Give him some Coke, bro.
I'm with you. I think that we move on to Heat -4 now. I don't think that we'll get better than that.
Yeah.
I don't. So, but that, and you're right. Puzzler Penny has just opened this game up, and it's at 5. Now the 5 is at +100. So very, very interesting. Heat -4, -110 locked in. And, to be honest with you, I don't think I'll be able to. Oh, and 3.5 at DraftKings.
Really?
Wow. What's the juice, Craig? If Craig can give us the juice, let's move that over. Let's see if FanDuel also has.
Yeah, I'll take a 3.5.
Oh, for sure. We'll get it for you for sure.
It's probably -115.
Let's move this over and see if we can. FanDuel. Okay, FanDuel just moved theirs to 4. I'd love 110. Beautiful. Thank you, Craig. That's great.
I'll take it. I'll take it. 3.5.
-3.5. Oh, Brandon Maring said it just moved to 4, but it was there at 3.5. So it was just moved to 4. That's fine. He got it at 3.5 at DraftKings.
Okay.
That's fine. Somebody bet it heavy when it was at 3.5, and
look, just slammed it. Just waited for that 3.5. Put a couple bands on it.
And look, we do know that our cappers on the show will only give out bets that you can make right now, and that's going to hurt them in the long run way more than it's going to help them. Okay, so let's give them that spot here. Okay, we just Darryl for a second. Darryl will be back in action. Let's pull him here from the stream. Okay, so we have Darryl in business, a spot on every game on the card. Let's move on to the next game that we will be breaking down. 8 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Hawks 31-33, 12-20 on the road at the Milwaukee Bucks, 41-25, 23-12 at home. Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Nasty Nate says he has to take the 4.5. I've got the 4 available, but I don't think it will be available when I get it. And I think that you can fix the sinus congestion. I need to fix one here for me right now, but I know it's just because I have dealing with some sleep issues. Atlanta 3-2 over their past 5. Oh,
Baseball's getting close to coming back, potentially, maybe. And it seems like the middle of this show, you got hit with a wave of sickness. Did you do anything pre-show activities, perhaps, to give you a boost because you were tired? I don't know.
No, I don't do anything like that. Never have. I'm just old-fashioned booze and smoke kind of a guy. So no, I think it's just that I haven't been sleeping for 4 days. That's what I think it is.
Well, I'm just asking what the people are thinking. You gotta ask.
Well, anybody who rolls with me knows that I don't mess with anything that would be what you would call an upper. So no, this is all this is au naturel. Now I do have a bit of a drink issue, bit of a booze problem. But let's stay back focusing on capping. But yes, I'm not sleeping, man. I'm not sleeping. So when I don't sleep,
yeah, he still can't text me back though, guys. He still can't text me back. Though he can't sleep. Don't remember that, everyone.
All right. Well, Jose has been in a very bad mood with no baseball. Okay. And yeah, I agree. I think that's some pretty shitty breaking news as well. Pretty shitty breaking news as well from Jose. Yes, it looks like Jose may be about the yayo, not me. Let's do Chaos says, where's Darryl? He'll be back. Okay, let's stay focused here. Atlanta 3-2 over their past 5, 29th in pace, 95.31 possessions a game, while Milwaukee 5-0, fourth in pace at 102.9 possessions a game. The Hawks had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 113-110 overtime loss to Detroit on Monday. Let's see what we are dealing with from a market situation and go from there. Oops, sorry, let me move this over. And got too many things open. Okay, here we go. Hawks, Bucks. Hawks open up as 5.5-point dogs, move to 4.5-point dogs. This total moves opens at 236.5, and it's moved to 239.5, and it's gone up to even 240 at FanDuel. Nasty Nate says, "Don't leave the house again." I'm not going. Well, look, there's some other things going on. Reasons why I have to play at that poker game right now. I have to play at that poker game right now. I can't really explain it, but I have to do whatever I can to play though. That's the only reason why I leave the house. And there's Darryl back in action. Darryl,
it's my camera.
It's all good, buddy. You're rolling. You're rolling with us right now. And we didn't get into much while you were gone. We were. I think Jose was very concerned that I was going to cap the games by myself, so he tried to mess with it and slow everything down. So we're talking Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks here.
Yeah.
Atlanta paced 29th in the NBA at 95.31 possessions a game. You want to tell me that their efficiency is so good that a team that has the 29th pace in the NBA could be a part of a 240-point total? I think that's hard to imagine, even though the Bucks are playing very high-scoring games. Very high-scoring games. Harold Williams says the spread is too low. Something is fishy. Let's go over to the cash and see if there's something that they can explain here with 7,830 tickets in. 25% of the tickets, 40% of the cash on the Hawks. So that's why there's been a move there. Then from the total side of things, 63% of tickets on the under, 52% of cash. So big bets came in on the over, but now it's too high, I think. Hawks had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 113-110 overtime loss to Detroit on Monday. Bogdanovich went for 22. John Collins added 17-11. He's back. Trae Young had an off night, shooting 5 of 20 from the field, 14 points and 12 assists. And Kevin Huerter missed the game against Detroit with a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Day-to-day. Bucks on the second half of a back-to-back after winning their 5th straight in dominant fashion last night, 142-115 at home over the Thunder. We've seen so many times this year on the second half of a back-to-back with no kind of preparation. All of a sudden, the Greek Freak is not in the lineup. It was a season-high 142 points for the Bucks. They're averaging 128.4 over this streak. Antetokounmpo goes for 39, 7 and 7. Middleton 25 and 9. Portis 18 and 14 boards, and Serge Ibaka 14 points. Drew Holiday 13 points. And I have been watching Serge's cooking show here. I have been watching it. And I enjoy it very much. Brooke Lopez is close to coming back. Connaughton is getting surgery still, after getting surgery on the right hand. So we're still waiting on that. George Hill out. Grayson Hill has a hip injury. Take it away here. Billy Friedrich saying Atlanta first half, Milwaukee full game. Take it away, Darryl. Hawks Bucks.
I don't give a fucking shit about this game at all. I really don't. In the words of Astute Chaos, fuck the Hawks, man. For real, this is another suspect line. It is a back-to-back, right? But Milwaukee's just running through squads, bro. And they're beating them convincingly. Besides the Miami win by 1 point, 120 to 119. I mean, they beat OKC 142 to 115. That was light work, right? We knew that was going to happen. I took Milwaukee yesterday. I'm like, don't be afraid of this fucking line, right? They beat Phoenix 132 to 122. We see how Phoenix is playing against good squads. That's what I'm saying. That Milwaukee game against Phoenix should show you something about how Miami's going to play Phoenix tonight. That's why you should not be afraid of Miami. Just digressing back to that last game. But this game here, Atlanta sucks away on the road, and Milwaukee is great at home, even on a back-to-back. I don't fucking understand this line. I don't understand it. The tear that Milwaukee has been on, I just don't understand this line. So something's really tricky here. It's really fishy. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised with the Giannis, late scratch here. I don't know, but I just don't want any action in this game at all. I don't want any action in this game. If you're looking at their first quarter, first half plays here, I mean, the Bucks are quietly still 6-4 first half ATS in the last 10, right? And the Hawks are sitting at 5-5. First half ATS, Bucks are quietly 3-6. In their last 10, even though they're on this tear where they've won the last 5 games in a row, right? So if they're going to get it done, it's going to come late in the second half. But you're not going to see a blowout. I don't think that at all, especially with the line being this low. So if I'm going to look at this game, I would. Well, did somebody say earlier take Hawks first half and then Bucks full game? Yes. Didn't someone? Yeah, that would probably be the direction I'd steer. You take the Hawks first half and you take the Bucks full game. But yeah, I don't give a shit about this game, Jay. I don't.
Dan Kelly says line's telling me Atlanta money line. I'm going to move on the under 240 here.
Yeah, you know how I am about totals. Dan Kelly, shout out to you, brother. Good to see your text here in the chat.
Well, let's keep rolling. 8 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Lakers 28-36, 9-20 on the road at Houston Rockets, 16-49, 9-21 at home. We're at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Lakers open up as 3-point favorites. That quickly moves to 5.5. This total opens up at 231 and is now 234. We get over to the cash. We have 4,161 tickets in, 61% of tickets on the Lakers, 83% of the cash. Then we have 35% tickets on the over and 44% of cash on the over. What is that over at? Sorry, let me just go up to 233 now for 234. Lakers 1-4 over their past 5, 9th in pace at 101.2 possessions game, while the Rockets have been slowing down. They're now 17th in pace, 99.62 possessions a game, 1-4 over their past 5. Lakers got back to their losing ways, 117-110 loss to San Antonio on Monday night. Prince of the City says bum fight. Real Deal Prime says respect the king. Says the king will be on the floor. He questionable in this game. He went for 56 points against the Warriors. I guess what do we say? Good. It's nice to see him trying and not whining. And the things I was listening to some quotes when I was driving back from the poker game last night and of Westbrook. And I didn't have any compassion for Westbrook when I was listening to them. Saying that his family's being they're playing with his name in calling him Westbrook. The children are being called Westbrook and all that stuff. And that's why you get paid $50 million or $40+ million a year, because you're in the spotlight. And so as it can be difficult for you, we hope the Egyptian fucking cotton that your children lay their head on at night will be enough, and whatever car they want to drive, whatever house they want to live in, will be enough for you guys to get through him being called Westbrook in the fucking playground. I have fuck off. That's just such. Come on, look, you're a star on a basketball team. People are going to mess with you. Whatever. That's why you get paid disgusting amounts of money. Stop being a whiny little bitch. After defeating the Grizz at home on Sunday, the Rockets lost 123-106 in Miami the following night. That's what we expect from them. They were without Christian Wood and Eric Gordon and Dennis Schroeder. Porter and Green stepped up, but it's not quite enough. Take it away here, Lakers, Rockets. And I know you don't like talking about your Lakers squad, and I can just tell I'm just by reading your body language that you may not give us.
I don't want to take it away, dog. Just give this shit right back to you. Just give this shit right back to you. What are we even talking? This has been 2 minutes long on the Lakers. I don't want to fucking talk about the Lakers at all, bro. I really don't. I can't, man. I can't. And it's not. My blood pressure goes up at this point. Like I got to go take my amlodipine because my goddamn blood pressure goes up just thinking about how terrible the squad is. And now we're talking about family names. Yeah. Like I looked at this game and I'm like, I'm not capping this game, dog. I'm not capping this game at all. There's no need to cap this game because you don't know what you're going to get. You lose to San Antonio. I mean, at this point, this is my expectation of the Lakers, and we're moving on to the next. Right? Because I would rather talk about OKC not even having anybody on their team playing Minnesota than this fucking game. Expect the Lakers to lose the games they should win and win the games they should lose. That's all I'm going to say. So if I had a side to play here, it would be the Houston Rockets. It really would. Because these young boys are not afraid of LeBron any longer. I was listening to a podcast on the Ringer, NBA Ringer show with Raja Bell and Logan Murdoch, Real Ones, right? And they were talking about a specific play against Dallas where Luka was calling for the switch for LeBron. He was calling for LeBron to come and defend him, right? And so we can give respect to the king. We can give respect to LeBron's one of the top 5 greatest players in the league. I promise you, bro, no one's afraid of LeBron anymore. They're not afraid of this man. And you got these young boys now that are chomping at the bit to play this guy. They're chomping at the bit at a piece of LeBron. And so they're making this guy use up so much energy to prove himself, and he's just getting rocked. He's getting rocked. And now you got Westbrook talking. Bro, do you realize how many times he's been called Westbrook? Skip Bayless has been calling Westbrook for years now. And now you want to bring it up? It's because you really are bricking, right? So just this one here, I didn't cap the game, and I'm about to go out now again. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold on.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Maybe some Lakers fans were just shutting you down there. I find Rockets games a lot of fun. And, we saw all the overs cashing and the team total overs against them nonstop. And then all of a sudden the market overcorrected itself and the unders started cashing. But I can tell you one thing. I have no compassion for Russell Westbrook, none whatsoever. Darryl back in action here.
I just switched to my other camera. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're gold.
Okay. Fuck it. I think my camera's not keeping a charge. I'll worry about that later. But yeah, man, I'm done with the Lakers. I'm done with the Lakers. I didn't cap the game, Jay. I have no interest in playing any Laker games for the remainder of the season. But just mark my words. Mark my words. The Lakers are going to do one of two things. They're going to lose the games they should win, and they're going to win the games they should lose. Bottom line.
Nuffleshon said it was good for a long run. It sure was. It sure was. Yeah, I don't. Let's move past that spot. But I do find Lakers games very fun to cap because I want you guys to lose.
Oh, and funny. So, Jimmy, gun to your head. Who do you take here?
Gun to my head. Well,
Mike said my camera got tired.
I guess gun to my head, I would have interest in, LeBron stepping up again after a game off and issues, and so I guess gun to my head. Billy Frieder says gun to my head.
I'm getting shot.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's so hard. I can't even say it. I can't even say it out loud. But I guess I lead with Christian Wood out. The Rockets look really bad, and
Yeah.
LeBron likes doing this. He likes showing. Now look what's going to happen when I'm in the lineup, and he's going to go off. And so I guess gun to my head at 5.5, maybe take the Lakers. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, 8 p.m. Eastern, Oklahoma City Thunder 20-45, 11-21 on the road at Minnesota Timberwolves, 37-29, 21-12 at home. We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oklahoma 1-4 over their past 5, third in pace at 103.4 possessions game. And Minnesota running the fastest pace in the league right now over their last 5 games. They've won them all, and they're playing at a 104.30 possessions a game. Thunder opened up as 13.5-point dogs, now 14.5-point dogs. The total opening up at 231.5. The Thunder been playing with this 9-player rotation, and now on a back-to-back against a team that wants to run them into the ground. Not a good situation for the Thunder, but you don't get rich. Well, I shouldn't say you don't get rich playing minus 14 favorites, because I don't have the numbers to back that up. Let's take a look at this. We have 5,220 tickets in, 57% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the Timberwolves, and we have 62% of cash on the under. And let's take one last look at this again here. The total is at 231.5. Thunder coming off their third straight loss, 142-115 at home over Milwaukee last night. The Wolves, fifth straight win, 124-81 at home over the lowly Blazers on Monday night. I wish the Wolves were playing a good basketball team, because I like to fade a team after they beat up on the worst team in the league, or arguably the worst team in the league. And I'm not going to get that chance here. Shea, 33 points, 8 boards, 14 assists. But, when Lindy Waters needs to put in 16 points, you're in trouble. Pokasevsky goes for 13. And Lugansdort, Ty Jerome, Mike Muscala are now all done for the year. So this is what you are seeing for the rest of the season with this Thunder squad. Take it away here, Darryl. Thunder, Timberwolves.
You ready for this? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Give me Minnesota first half minus. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He's excited.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you something. This came very close to a trifecta to me. It really did. The problem is Minnesota has substantially dropped in the first quarter as far as their spreads. Their last 10, they're 3-7. They're 3-7, and they're against spreads that are not really this large, right? But where the money is Minnesota first half. These guys are third in the league in scoring. Third in the league in scoring first half points at 67, while OKC, look at this, man. OKC is still second to last. 29th at 56.7 points. 56.7 points is what they're averaging in the last 3. Their season average is 51, and they gave you 65 in their last, or 51 in their last game or last one. So it was up there. Minnesota is averaging for the season 58, right? So that's already a 9-point difference there just in season average. But in their last 3, 67 points, bro. So when you talk about that pace, when you talk about how fast they're playing, how well they're playing, they're going to get it done against OKC. OKC is another team that can come back, but it's usually that third quarter, that second half little push, right? And what ends up happening is teams either get bored with these guys or they just kind of start resting their players and go deeper into their bench because they've won the game. Right. This can easily be another 30-point blowout. I don't think Minnesota really cares about this team, but you are going to see them turn it up first half. Right. So give me Minnesota Timberwolves minus 8.5, I believe it is. That's what I took it at, 8.5. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. First half is the play.
You can get 8.5 at minus 108. Thank you, Billy. That's better than I saw, and minus 8 at 115.
Yeah, I'm not going for a push here. They can get you 9 points.
All right. Timberwolves first half minus 8.5 or minus 108. I've had some luck with the Thunder first quarter because they're playing this small rotation and they just seem to get tired out. Obviously, watching Nut Flush cash on these Milwaukee Bucks first quarter over and over again made me not want to do it. But I'd be curious to see what happened yesterday in that first quarter because I was playing cards at that point. Did Milwaukee easily cover the first quarter? I don't know if they did. 39-34. That first quarter could have been a 5. Dennis Garcia says, I want OKC. I'll never back a team after they beat up on terrible opposition. But now they have more terrible opposition, and it is I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play of the day.
Yeah, do not be afraid of that number. Don't be, Jimmy. Let them know. Guys in the chat, don't be afraid of that number. Some games, yeah, be afraid of the number, like that Jazz game, right? But this one here, not so much. Minnesota is just that team, and I don't know who's going to stop Cat. I don't know. This guy's playing lights out right now, so let's go with it.
And this is a good situation for him because he's sometimes lacks heart against good basketball teams. He won't need to worry about that here. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 16-50, 9-27 on the road at New Orleans Pelicans 27-38, 15-17 at home. We're at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Orlando 0-5 over their past 5, 6th in pace at 102.66% this game. Pelicans 3-2, 10th in pace at 101.19 possessions a game. Magic opened up as 8-point dogs. That moves to 9. That's a big spread for a Pelicans team that's 11 games under 500 and 2 games under 500 at home. This total opens up at 221.5 and has moved to 222.5. Let's see what the cash flow is like. We have 5,081 tickets in, 55% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the Pelicanos. Then 31% of the tickets on the under, 63% of cash on that under. Magic on the second half of a back-to-back. Both teams on the second half back-to-back. Magic coming off their second straight loss, 102.99 at home to the Suns last night. Wendell Carter Jr. goes for 20 and 12. And Orlando's bench played well, 47 points. Moritz Wagner goes for 12. Markelle Fultz, 11, fourth game since returning from the ACL injury. Pelicans also on the second half back-to-back. Their 132-111 loss at Memphis last night. Brandon Ingram did not play. Sore right hamstring. His status at this point, I'm not sure.
He's going to play. He's got to play. He's got to play with this number, Jay.
Yeah, you're right. The market's certainly telling us he's in. McCollum, 32 points, 11 assists in 31 minutes. And Memphis never trailed, 44 points in the first quarter, 77 in the first half, coasted home. Take it away here, Darryl. Magic Pelicans.
I don't give a fucking shit about this game. I don't care. I don't care about this game at all. Dead ass. I really don't. There's nothing important about. And the thing was, I was on Nolans yesterday, right? Because they've been playing some decent ball. The way Orlando played against a decimated Phoenix, if you want to call them decimated, and the way New Orleans kind of just laid down against Denver and Memphis, I'm off that train. They're still a sorry squad. If you're going to look at the squad, look at props. Look at CJ McCollum's props. Look at different props look at different players here because they're going to get you the money, right? But it's no reason why you should play this game at all. No fucking reason why you should touch this game unless you really have an advantage. But this can go either way.
Let's move on then. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, New York Knicks 27-38, 14-19 on the road at the Mavericks, 40-25, 23-11 at home. American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. And I do believe in the future markets of the Mavericks are the best look at this point.
Yes.
Huge number. So I moved on them. I got them 18-1 to win the conference.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was surprised. That was even better than it was, a few days before. And it's not like they haven't lost any games. So it actually went up. It was 15-1. Then I got it 18-1 2 nights ago. And then I got them, I think, at 35-1. I put less on to win the championship. I put more on the conference bet. 27-38, the Knicks. Mavs 23-11 now at home. We're at American Airlines Center. New York 2-3 over their past 5, 14th in pace, 100.4 possessions a game. Dallas 5-0, last in the league in pace at 95.10 possessions a game.
Oh, my bad. Razor Sharp is saying that Ingram is out. Is that confirmed for sure?
Let's get that confirmation in. Razor Sharp pick saying Ingram is out. Yeah, I had it as uncertain in my notes. Wow, 55-54 Sac State. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Man, we have a big boy bet by Kyle Hintley, and I should let me.
Out as of 2 minutes ago.
Wow.
And it just left the board. Just dropped off the board everywhere. Wow.
There you go. So that number's going to drop. That's going to get to probably 7.5.
Oh yeah, or more. Why? I mean, I would. What would I put it at? Right, I have to think about that for a second. But
yeah,
very interesting stuff. Let's keep rolling here. Knicks come on off 2 straight road wins. Last one coming in Sacramento, 131-115 win on Monday night, and we thought that they had given up. Maybe they haven't. Knicks open up as 8-point dogs. That's 8.5 or 9 now. The total opening up at 213.5 is now at 216.5. And no, I feel you, Razor. Yeah, we just didn't know. Razor was the first letting us know. So,
sorry about that, Razor. Didn't want. I just.
No, it's all good. Mavericks are speaking. Fifth straight win, 111-103 at home over the Jazz. Luka goes for 35, 16, and 7, and they want a home court advantage in the first round. And look, and he also says we've never had it since he's been there. So they're pushing for it, and they're going to get it. And I think they're a very dangerous team because it was basically like getting Dinwiddie for nothing, because that's what Porzingis had become. Fucking nothing. Take it away here, Darryl. Knicks, Mavericks.
I already took Dallas at -8. I took them earlier. I took Dallas -8 earlier today. That number is now at -9. I'm looking at the disparity in numbers, right? If you look at what they're averaging first quarter, Dallas is quietly giving you 31 points, and they are right now 15th in the league, averaging 28.1 for the season and 31 of the last 3, gave you 30 last game. New York, averaging 26.7 for the season, averaging 22 in their last 3, and they gave you 17 last game. So if we're talking about pace in this game, Dallas playing the slower pace, you're not gonna speed them up, right? Where I do believe that there's scoring being made now with the squad, and I was talking about it earlier on my show, is Spencer Dinwiddie, right? He's been a great addition to this team, and that's the reason why you're seeing points scored. So I think on this show, I'm going to add in the first quarter. I'm going to do that now. They are right now 7-3 in their last 10 in first quarter ATS. Dallas is just doing what they want. They're doing what they want. And the Knicks don't have a chance. And if I'm looking at it now, just about everybody is out for the Knicks. Now, ATS for the Knicks, they are also 6-3-1. But against a team that's just kind of surging, in my opinion, they don't have an answer for Dallas. They don't. So looking at their first quarter spread, what do you have there? Because I'm going to make a move on this right now.
All right, I can get the first quarter is just being dropped. Wow, this is weird.
Yeah, I got it at -3. I'm pushing the button on -3 right now.
Did you want the 8.5 full game?
I could take it full. I could take the half full game. Yeah, I can. Because it's going to be a mess.
Let's see what I can give you here on the Mavs first quarter.
Yeah, I got it at -3 right now. That's where I touched it.
Yeah, -3. I'm -105. -3 at -105.
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me.
All right, and then let me see if I can. Wow, this is being pulled. Why would they pull this one?
So the news for.
All right, I'm gonna lock you in here. Get you in on the Mavs. You're on the Mavs.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. It might even be better for us. So jump on it now. Jalen Brunson is probable. Is he worth a hook? If he plays, is he worth any movement whatsoever? Right.
You know,
he's gonna. I don't know if they're. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I would have to assume he would be worth a little something, enough to make the books move. Maybe not, but enough to get the rhythm in the game going. Absolutely. I do believe that. I do. So if he's in, that's really good.
Lit Pick says Mavs coming to smash. If you like the Knicks, you're better off playing Randall Points. He loves playing in Dallas, where he's from. Last year, he averaged 29 versus the Mavs. Dab Fen says Dinwiddie Bertans didn't like confusion in DC. There's chemistry happening in Dallas.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Didn't understand that Dallas move at first, but yeah, it looks like it's paying off. They unloaded Porzingis, and they got Dinwiddie, who's a bucket. He is a bucket. So I do like Dallas here. It could easily be a trifecta game, but I already took them earlier in the day, but I am adding in that first quarter because I do believe there's just such a disparity in points there that Dallas could come back and just hammer them right now in the first quarter. Just quick, fast, get it in, get out. I like it.
You are locked in. Mavs first quarter, -3, -105. Mavs full game, -8.5 and -109. Let's roll on to a very interesting game here for us up north. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Raptors 34-30, 17-15 away. Have looked very bad of late. At the San Antonio Spurs 25-40, 12-19 at home. AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Toronto 2-3 over their past 5, 24th in pace, 97.40 possessions a game, while the Spurs 1-4, second in pace, 103.7 possessions a game. And great to hear that you guys all cashed with Sacramento State. And Kyle Hindley had that huge bet. So great start to the day, you guys. I wasn't on it, but very, very happy that you guys cashed. There's Penny Bombs in the chat. Says Fred is back for the Raptors.
Is he? Yeah. Okay. Should move more than a hook then.
We'll see what the market is doing with that information. We have the Raptors opening up as 1-point favorites. It's now 2.5-point favorites at PointsBet and FanDuel. Be curious to see what Bet365. It's at 2 at Bet365 here for the Raps. Man, do they need Van Fleet back? That is just a
looks like he's back.
Very, very, very good news. Dennis says Dallas is 18-1 to win the West. Yeah, has not changed since I bet it then. Has not changed, and I love it. Prince of the City says, but OG is out. Yeah, Anunoby remains out, and that has hurt this team quite a bit. 5,220 tickets in, 74% of the tickets on the Raptors, 87% of the cash, and then 43% tickets on the under, 72% of cash on that under, and it's sitting at 228 or 228.5. And pace-wise, the Raptors are 24th in pace right now, but last 5 games, those numbers are skewed because we haven't had Van Fleet out on the floor. Raptors coming off their third straight loss, 104-96 at the Cavs. Siakam for 24, Boucher for 21, Trent Jr. and Scotty Barnes each had 19. Trent Jr. has not been as good over these last few days without Van Fleet in the lineup. Missing 5 straight games with knee soreness. Good thing he's back. Anunoby still out with a fractured finger. Spurs snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 117-110 win at home versus the Lakers on Monday night. A Lakers team without AD, Lakers team without LeBron. DeJounte Murray had 26, 10, and 8. All 5 scores hit double figures. Podol, Richardson, Keldon Johnson, McBuckets. Who cares? They're not a very good basketball team, and they you look at their lineup, they should be better than 25-40. Take it away here, Darryl. Is this a Raptors smash spot?
It might be, but you know where the money is, right? It's the Spurs first quarter. They're top in the league. They're still ranked first in the league, first quarter, right? And at home, they're 17-12. Away, they're 22-11. So they actually do better away first quarter. I'm not making a play here. I'm not going to make a play here. And this is the reason why. It's one of these games to where I don't know how it's going to go. You don't have your important player back for Toronto. You don't know if they're going to play disruptor and spoiler. Are the Spurs going to get up for this record to be broken tonight? I don't know. This was more of a narrative play to me, to where I think they can get up pretty early. But this game here, I didn't really have any interest in, to be honest with you. I don't know if Lonnie Walker is playing. I don't know if he's in. And I just do believe that this is a game that Spurs can win, but this line is too short. It's too short, in my opinion. So it can go either way. It's a coin toss, and I just didn't want any action in this game. But if I'm going to look more into the game, it seems like the first quarter makes sense. Spurs first quarter, money line. It's just kind of weird how this is set up. I don't want any action in this game, though, because Toronto is the better team, but how they've been playing as of late just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you lose to Cleveland, you lose to Orlando, and you lose to Detroit. It's like, wow, you're as good of a team as you are. How are you losing to these types of teams? Cleveland, I can understand, but it was almost a 10-point, beatdown. And that was without Jared Allen, I believe. Right? There was no
in the first,
yeah. So it's like, okay, these guys are long, they're tall, they're good wing defenders. Are we going back to Pascal Siakam's assists? You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of these games to where I would rather have a really full healthy squad to start looking deep at Toronto. And with San Antonio, it seems like the only advantage really is the first quarter. But the first quarter really pays off when they're away, not when they're home. So I didn't have an advantage here. I would lean San Antonio first quarter, but Spurs, as a whole game, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they beat the Lakers, but they've lost to Charlotte, Sacramento, Memphis, and Miami, all really good teams. So I don't know. It was a game that it was a coin toss for me. So it was no play.
How good did the Raptors look 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Man, like world beaters. World beaters. Absolutely.
Anunoby is a big piece of the puzzle, but nobody's bigger than Van Fleet. He just is a calming influence, ball control. Also, nobody's attempting more threes a game in the league, right? Isn't he attempting more than Steph this year?
So he might be. I think he might be easily. So
look, this is very big that Van Fleet's going to be back, and I expect to be on the Raptors, but the Spurs just don't. When I look at the roster, I expect more from them. Now we have Pop on the edge of this
Don Nelson,
record. So but the Raptors have looked so bad. They must be welcoming Van Fleet with open arms and going, okay, let's turn it around right here. So I expect to move on the Raptors at this point, but I'm going to take a little more study. Let's move on to Portland Trailblazers at Utah Jazz. That is next up for us here. And did I skip no? Okay, perfect. This is the Blazers opening up at 16.5-point dogs, now 17.5 and 18-point dogs. This total going from 219.5 to 221.5. 18.5-point dogs. That's what this Trailblazers team has become. 51% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on the Trailblazers at this price. The market's still moving towards the Jazz. Then you have 79% of tickets on the over, but just 47% of cash on the over. Portland, fifth in pace in the last 5 games. 102.7 possessions game, while Utah playing slow, 3-2, 27th the pace, and 95.61 possessions game. And you can imagine that they will dictate the pace here against this terrible team. 124-81, they lost to Minnesota on Monday night after the drubbing they took 2 nights earlier to the same Timberwolves squad. Jazz coming off their second loss in 3 games, 111-103 at Dallas on Monday night. They needed to win that game and weren't able to, and they're still 10-3. Since they looked so bad in January when they won 4 of 16 games. Taking away here, Darryl, Portland, Utah.
What's the team total for Jazz?
I will pull that up right now. I imagine that Pinnacle will give us the best total. But they've dropped all their NBA with all these moving parts.
I think it was at 114 earlier.
Let me see what I can get you here.
And Utah is averaging in their last 3 103.
Yeah, and they're not gonna. They're. This might be an under spot. Let's just go. The Jazz team total here is it's 120.5.
Oh wow, I don't want to touch it. Forget it. I'm off this game. I looked at the team total. It did make sense, right? But that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for the Jazz, who's averaging over their last 3, 103. But for the season, they're 113. So, and the team total for, if they're 120, then you're saying the team total for the Blazers is at 100?
Let's take a look. Over.
Yeah,
101.5 at Circa.
Yeah, I'm off this game. I'm off it. I'm off of it. It just seems like the play would have been the team total, but that, in my opinion, is too high for the Utah Jazz. I'm not afraid of this number, but at the same time, it's the Jazz. It's not the Blazers that I'm worried about. It's the Jazz. right? Could this be a backdoor cover? Easily. This is one of these games to where they could win by 16, 17 points, right? I don't know. I don't know. The Jazz, they never cease to amaze me how good that team is on paper, but just how shitty they are when it comes to covering spreads. The Jazz are winning, but they're just losing spreads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're 2-2 in their last 4, but they've lost all those spreads, right? They beat Dallas, lost that spread. So they don't cover spreads. I don't know. I don't know. I would think that the move would be Utah Jazz team total over, because the Blazers aren't going to stop them, right? They can't stop a nosebleed right now. And they're barely putting up 100 points. So it's kind of even risky to even go Portland Trailblazers under team total, right? But then you're expecting the Jazz to play some serious defense, right? I mean, they let OKC get 103. New Orleans put up 90. Houston put up 127, right? So it's just one of these games now to where if you didn't catch something early, then I think you've lost the momentum here. So there's no play for me now in this game.
Yeah, I wonder if this total keeps climbing. I would have some interest.
Just smash the under.
I would have some interest in it. I'd be curious to look at this cash flow for this one. This has 21% of the tickets on the under and 53% of the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Rance
Shane Kim is asking me for a 2-teamer. I don't really do parlays, but any plays I play, just take your pick on them, because I feel confident about any play that I play for the most part. They're all my favorite plays, if you will. If I don't feel like I got an advantage, then I won't play it.
And we only have 2 games left, and then we'll review everything. Let's go to the next spot. Denver Nuggets, 39-26, 19-15 on the road. At Sacramento Kings, 24-43, 15-19 at home. We're at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. I am putting a note about this under. I do have interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have interest in it, it would be a first half under that I would want in case Jazz are up 20 plus and just, who cares who's out there? So
yeah, but Utah, maybe so. I would look at that then. We're talking this out, and it sounds better and better. Jazz is averaging 49.3 first half points, right? Portland is giving you right now 48. That is way under.
Yeah.
Oof. I might move on that.
Okay,
I might move on that.
You got a little while to think about it, and then let me know if you want to add it to your card, because I think that it just makes sense after our whole breakdown. Nuggets Kings is next up on the docket. 2 games left before we have capped them all here. And we have the Nuggets opening up as 4-point favorites, and now they're 6.5-point favorites. This total opened up at 234.5. It shot up to 238.5. I had a little debate last night with a friend of mine at the poker table who was saying that he thinks the Nuggets are the best value on the futures market.
Yeah.
He was confident about that, and I was saying I think the Mavs are, and it was a fun little talk. We're at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. We have 7,414 tickets in, 71% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Nuggets, and the market moving towards them. That all makes sense. And then 53% of tickets, 54% of cash on the under. And we see that quite a bit when a total moves 4 or 5 points. And that's what this one has done, because there's 239.5 on the board. So we see buyback once it gets that high. There's Piker in the house. Great to see you, Piker. Okay, so Denver and Sacramento both playing quickly. Denver 4-1 over their past 5, 8th in pace at 101.58 possessions a game, while Sacramento 2-3, 7th in pace at 102.00 possessions a game. Denver comes in off their 3rd straight win, 131-124 at home versus an undermanned Warrior squad, while the Kings come in off their 2nd straight loss, 131-115 at home versus the Knicks. And the main storyline of this game will be Jokic versus Sabonis.
Is he playing? Can somebody confirm that? I think Domas is out. That's why this line is gone.
He got suspended.
Yeah, he's
Oh, wow.
suspended. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Step on him now. I'm just telling you now. Step on Denver first half, step on Denver full game, right? Because they have no bigs, right? Rashawn Holmes is out. Of course, you're missing Halliburton there, but Domas is gone, right? So I did already step on it. Dallas first half -3.5. You would have got a better number earlier. And then Denver full game. Denver full game. Denver first half -3.5. Denver full game. First half right now, Denver is quietly sitting at 6-3-1. First half ATS. First quarter ATS. Denver right now is quietly sitting at 7-3 last 10. Yeah. So this could be a trifecta here. Right? It could be a trifecta here, but I do like them first half and full game. This is one you just touched on it. You know, they're quietly peaking. Bones Highland may not be playing as well. You are coming close to Michael Porter Jr. getting back, but now you don't have any bigs whatsoever. This is going to be a Denver smack spot.
Well, you're getting the -3 for the first half at -108, and you're getting full game -6 at minus.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Or -6 at -110. Yeah, this makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Locked in. Okay, so a double up spot for Darryl in the Nuggets game. He's still got time to think about that first half under in Portland, Utah, but back in the Nuggets here makes a ton of sense. Billy Friedrich on Jokic, points, rebounds, and assists at over 50.5 is -105. And then
I'd jump all on that. Mm-hmm.
You jump on that as well. All right. Okay, then let's move on to the final game here on the board. Clippers at home to the Washington Wizards. Wizards 29-34, 12-17 on the road at the Clippers, 34-33, 19-14 at home. We're at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Washington 2-3 over their past 5, 23rd in pace at 97.44 possessions a game. And the Clippers 3-2, 20th in pace at 98.70 possessions a game. So we saw Kristaps Porzingis make his debut, 21 minutes in the 133-123 win over Indiana. 25 points on 7 of 12 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, and 5 boards. So they're all excited about him on the court, and they don't have anything to be excited about. So I get it. The Clippers looked awful last night. Second straight loss, 112-97 at Golden State. Just could do so little, could get nothing done. At no point did they look like they could win that game. The Wizards opened up at +4.5. That's down to 3.5. This total at 220 is now down to 216.5. And then cash wise, we have 37% of tickets on the Clippers, but 53% of cash, and then 71% tickets on the over and 68% of cash. It feels like the Clippers would bounce back here, and that maybe we're getting an advantage knowing that the Wizards, win at home against the Pacers, have to travel all the way across North America, and the Clippers did not look good last night and probably want to fix that. Take it away here, Darryl. Wizards, Clippers.
Yeah, I don't care about this game. I don't give a shit about this game, right? And a missing piece for the Clippers, in my opinion, if you're having to put that much stock in Reggie Jackson having a good game, I think you're lost. Right? You shouldn't. But I think the problem that you don't have is Rocco in the game. I think Rocco is a huge, huge loss to them. So, in my opinion, until we get at least some better play from, I mean, Bobby Shmurda is not the answer on that team. Right? So you just got too many moving parts here for me to even back the Clippers off a back-to-back, even though it is the Wizards. So it's just no action. I won that game. It's still the damn Clippers. They are a gritty team. But I looked at them yesterday, right? I'm like, okay, the Clippers should be able to at least do something against Golden State, off Golden State being off a back-to-back. Mind you, none of the starters played. But when it comes to the depth of your team, they played, right? And they did not get it done against Golden State. All right. So this is one of these things here to where I feel that Golden State, that Clippers should be to win this game. It's a low enough line to where they should, but it's the Clippers. It's the Clippers off a back-to-back, and I don't give a shit about this game. So I'm off of it. Didn't play it.
I think it's a nice bounce back spot for the Clippers here, and my palms just started leaking. So I think that
I know.
I was
Save
on a
your money, man.
I can't. I love bum fights. And I was on a podcast and they were talking about Bobby Schmurder, and I said that I heard that Bobby Schmurder got schmaped and schmizen, and crickets, nothing. It got nothing.
Nobody knows what that. Oh my god!
And I was like, that's my best work. That's my best work right there. That Bobby Schmurder got schmaped and schmizen.
Yeah, that's not even close to your best.
Let's review action here. We have and Grace Allen announced in from Prince of the City. Celtics first half team total over 56.5 is where the card starts for Darryl. Then he's gone the Pistons first quarter plus 1.5 at minus 109. He got the Heat minus 3.5 at minus 110, only available for a few minutes. I want the Heat minus 4. Let's see if I can get them, and I still can't get them at minus 4 at minus 110. So I like that spot. Joe Yurkovich is on the team total under 112. Dan Kelly's adding the first quarter, Washington plus 1, and St. Joseph LaSalle first half over for JT. Nice job, JT, my guy. So let me get that. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Because it got nothing, crickets when I said it, and I was like, come on. This is okay. So Dan, can you review maybe all of your action here? Because I've got it like written all over the place. If you could just put it in one thing so I can copy and paste it like that, it would make it easier for me. But I have it right here. Sorry, that's not Joe Yurkovich. My fault. Dan Kelly is on the Miami team total under 112. Joe Yurkovich is on the Miami Phoenix over 218 at minus 110. And Raven says Q's up 40. Just leave it to Boeheim, man. That's just such a Boeheim thing to do. Astute Chaos is with Dan. Astute Chaos on Phoenix Miami first half under 106.5 at minus 112. Okay, let's go back to Darryl's action here. I'm going to move on the under 240 in Atlanta, Milwaukee. That's something I'm going to move on. Lakers, Rockets, we've stayed off. Then I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play of the day is the Timberwolves first half minus 8.5, minus 108. Then Magic, Pelicans, nothing. Then Mavs first quarter minus 3 and full game minus 8.5. I am going to be moving on the Raptors, but nothing for Darryl there. And then we come to the first half under that I will be betting in Portland, Utah. So is that something that's going to jump on your card, or do you want to stay off? No pressure. You got action.
Yeah, I've got 8 plays now. I think I'm going to leave it.
Okay. Okay, and then you have the double up with the Nuggets. First half, minus 3, full game, minus 6. I like both those looks. And then I want the Clippers. And Vipe in the house says, great show, fam. Good to have you back,
Appreciate
Darryl.
you, Vipe. Appreciate you.
We have missed you very, very much, Darryl. So great to have you back in action. Your goal was 60%, and you got there. An amazing work with 90 game sample size is, and then Atlanta team total over. Okay, thank you, Dan. Copied and paste that here. All right. There you have it, Darryl. Great to have you back in action, man. Can't wait to have you rolling with us again on Friday when we do this once more. And then it won't be long till we're in San Antonio. When do you fly into San Antonio?
24.
Oh, beautiful.
24.
That's the Friday. Perfect.
No, that's not Friday. Is that Friday?
No, you're right. That's Thursday.
Yeah.
That's Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay.
24th, and I'll be there till the 28th.
Beautiful. Those of you who want to get tickets for the Sweet 16, we got to hook them up soon. They're expensive, and they're just getting more expensive. So we have a list on our Twitter group that we've created with everybody who's coming to. And I need to add Pierre Suarez to that group. I did write down your Twitter handle. Pierre's coming in from Colombia. We want to pick everybody at the airport, We want to just look after everybody, take care of everybody. So we need to know.
Yeah.
So
I got to jump on that, Jimmy. I know it was Dutchy, Ragu, and then I think it was Nate. I was going to stay with a little lady friend, man, but I don't want to get tied down, right? So I'm like, I might just have to shack up with one of the fellas. So I got to get back on the Twitter group. But if somebody needs a roomie or have an extra space, or if I just got to go out and, get my own spot, I will. But if anybody has any open area, let me know. so I can get. I think I'm going to not go. I'm coming in. I got to check I believe it's early. I think it's a 5:30 in the morning flight from here, so it'll be 7:30 Texas time. But I believe it's 5:30. I'm stopping over in Denver, so I have a layover in Denver, and then I'm coming to San Antonio.
Jimmy, you want to go pick up Darryl before the show that day?
I will be working, but you will be there, Jose, and that's so good of you.
I will be working.
Oh wow! Look at you guys! Look at you guys! So I got to get it worked out. I know we're kind of going over this show, but I'm doing everything last minute now because of all the crap that's going on these past 3 weeks with the funeral and so forth. But yeah, I want to get that locked down this week, just so I don't have to get tied up and get tied down. So yeah.
Prince of the City wants to go to that Elite Eight game. We need everybody to. Oh, and you guys don't get until Saturday. Yeah, but we'll hook you guys up. You guys get in because Saturday's a big day and a really fun day. And we got the brewery tour, then the sneaker con, and then we have the poker game as well. And some of you guys want to go to the Elite Eight. That's just one game on the Elite Eight night, and you can get into that. The cheapest tickets are like 110 American, but we're trying to get the price down for group tickets on the Sweet 16 because we get 2 games. But right now it's around 190 American, so we're trying to work, and that's like cheap shit tickets. So we're working on that.
SneakerCon sounds good though.
SneakerCon on Saturday will be great, no doubt.
Actual breaking news again. NFL news, quarterback news again. Darryl, welcome to breaking news again.
Thank you.
Carson Wentz has been traded to the Washington Commanders for a package what is supposed to be 2/3 apparently. So some measly garbage to the Washington football team and Indianapolis Colts, just switching the garbage there.
Wow, that's wild. Very, very, very interesting here. Just a sec. Didn't even hit mute.
Who cares about Carson Wentz though?
Okay, great job. Very, very interesting news here with Carson Wentz moving to Washington. Real Deal Prime says that was a rumor yesterday, and Prince of the City is laughing out loud. He can't take it. There we go. Darryl, thank you so much for sharing your hard work with us. Get that cash. 60% is very, very impressive. And after this, you'll be a couple bets away from your 100th look.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I probably don't have the most amount of bets, but hey, when they count, they count.
No, it's been very impressive. And you know what you have done is you've elevated Dutch's game. Dutch has seen what you are doing, and he's been very, very impressed, and you've elevated his game. And he has recently snuck above you. He's now at 61.5%. Barely ahead of you. But I love watching you guys cash together. It's been very, very, very nice. Nice job, Nasty Nate. That boy, great work. Much love, Darryl. Please follow our guy on Twitter at It's Darryl, and then come down to San Antonio and hang out with all of us. Spectacular work, my guy. Keep it up.
Appreciate you, man.
Hang with us. There he is. It's Darryl in the house. All right, let's review action quickly. In NHL, I'm on the Oilers' first period, and I got that minus 125 in full game, minus 130, and the Oilers have moved back to minus 135. So I like seeing that. And what are they first period? It's still minus 125. Okay. And then our guy Gogster's all over the unders in the Habs Canucks game. All over them. And then he has not moved in the Oilers game, but he's on Montreal, Vancouver, first period under 1.5 plus 124. Montreal, Vancouver, full game under 6 at plus 107. Vancouver, first period team total under 0.5 at plus 189. And Vancouver team total under 3.5 at minus 102. That is Mr. Gogster's action in NHL. And then we move over to college basketball. And I don't know what I'm going to do now. That's what I'll be sitting with. I'm going to lock in my NBA action, but I'm not entirely sure what to do in NCAA. We know that Matty Ice is on Nebraska plus 5.5. That's the taint play of the day. CMAC moved on Charlotte minus 2.5. Do I really want to take a team to beat a team for the third time this year? I don't know. He's on Missouri plus 4 against Ole Miss in the SEC first round. That pops off at 6. And then in the afternoon games that he's moved on, he moved on one that starts in 8 minutes. That's the under 151 in New Mexico Lobos, Nevada Wolfpack. Under 151. What is that? So that pops off in 8 minutes. What if I want to do that? Make that bet right now. That is still at 151. So I'll have to decide if I want to smash that or not. And then he is on the under 132.5 in Duquesne, Rhode Island, and the team total under 61.5. That is his action. Real Deal Prime leaning towards Eastern Washington. There's Turnsey in the house, back on the ice with a bird cage over my face today. Go get that. Pick up a hat trick for us. We want a hat trick. Billy Friedrich says Koskinen confirmed. I needed that badly. Thank you, guys. Thank you for rolling with us. It means the world to have you guys rolling with us. Talk Sports with JT, Real Deal Prime, Turnsey, Harold Williams, Cash, Money says typical Washington football move. Oh, man, this has been a fun offseason already. Billy Friedrich, Nasty Nate, Steph Brosco, For Show Cash, Josh Easley, Cashman 19, Astute Chaos, Prince of the City, Live Chat, Bartender, Nut, Flush, Allen, all you guys, thank you. Raven in the Desert, Dan Kelly, thank you guys so much for sharing your hard work with us, inspiring us. I know that I'm battling right now with the insomnia. Hopefully that won't last too much longer because it's hitting me hard. But I can tell you, I'm going to beat up Thursday's card. I'm going to start working on it now and just keep working on it and not leave the apartment. Thank you guys for your support. On behalf of Jose Bouquet, myself, Jeff Slaughter, and everybody at Pub Sports Radio, let's go get that fucking cash. Leche. Hey, Los Bookmakers!